What is going on, fam? And welcome to the first official episode of Premium Takes. Now, Adam's running late today. Adam is going to be one of our co hosts, but you got me, Zion Zenith. I'm joined by Mac the Giants fan, and I asked Hit earlier today to kind of be a co host until Adam gets here. And thank you so much for joining, Hit. How you
Yeah,
guys
no
doing today?
problem.
What's going on, his squad?
Hey, what's going on, y'all boys? Thank you for having me on, Zion. I've been looking forward to this all afternoon. I'm really excited to see what y'all boys do today, man.
Absolutely, and thank you so much for joining us. And we do have Logan in the backstage. Logan's just gonna post up right now. He's gonna be dropping links for us, making sure that people can find Mac's channel, people can find Hit Squad's channel. And as soon as Adam gets here, we're gonna bring Adam in here. And I want you guys to know, like I see, what's up, Nate? What's up, Classified? What's up, Jay? I see that Big Play Slays here. I want you guys to know that you guys can call in to answer these questions too. But first, I just wanted to have a discussion with the panel and let us discuss the questions first, and then we'll bring you guys in if you guys want to call in and you guys want to give your opinion on the questions. Um, First off, let's just get into the news. You see things that are kind of different here. You see that this podcast is brought to you by the BBKC. What that is just a collective of all great content creators on YouTube that just decided to come together and create a family. Basically, we had like a YouTube family, like a little corner of YouTube where you could go and check us out, and we all support each other's channels. Um, and we just decided to make it official. So that being said, both of these members on stream with me are official members of the BBKC. Soon you guys will see that the Big Blue Crew Collective will have an Instagram, we'll have a Twitter, we'll have a Facebook, and even a Discord where you guys can come and talk to us and hang out, and you guys will be able to get content at all hours of the night. And that's the Big Blue Crew's plan. Is to bring you guys great entertainment. No matter if you're watching the young boys on Fridays, we got Logan, Nate, and Jaden. They do the young blue crew podcast on Fridays. You got the true so much blues. You got the true Big Blue at Pat and Lou, and you got Leather to the Face, and then you got the Giants Cave, and you got Max when he breaks down the whole state of the East, and you got Hit. So much content coming for you guys. But first off, how are you guys doing today? Before we just open up for questions, it's just how's the day? Just another day. Anything special happen, or anything you guys want to bring up?
It's just another good old day. I mean, just good holiday season. I'm always usually good spirits this time of the year, so I'm just excited. I'm excited to take this next step in my YouTube maturity and growth, or so to say, man. I love working with all you guys, man. Love the whole Big Blue crew, man. This is great to be lit, man. We great to take this to the next level, man.
Let's get it.
Yeah,
Let's take it
I'm
to
right
the
there
next
with you, man.
level.
I'm right there with you. I mean, I'm so excited because it's just we all have our own thing individually that we do great, but the simple fact that we could all come together, even if we all have differences in opinion on where we view this team or the things that this team should do, it's all about family. It's all about New York Giants, and I mean, I love it, man. I get really excited for these streams, because it's like, I mean. And I'm not going to bash no one. I was just going to say I just don't see other people on YouTube doing that, where they bring a lot of people together in one area to conversate. But other than that, I'm doing good. I like to I like to do this thing the next day after a Giants loss and just kind of like scroll through the Giants world on Twitter to see the overreactions, how people feel and whatnot. And today's been definitely an interesting day. But, yeah.
Say
I didn't
less.
want to distract you, Hit. I just moved my screen because I had my box of Q-tips just sitting up there. And I'm like, that's so weird to have a box of Q-tips on camera. So I just moved my screen because of that, and then it looks way more professional, right? Well,
Oh,
that
you're
being
good.
said, I'm glad that you guys are happy because I'm happy as well. Brings us, you know what? Let's just get into our questions, right? So me and Mac, was going through some stuff, and I just figured, why don't we start off with a question about Joe Burrow, because he just went off against the Baltimore Ravens. He just, went for like 525, I believe. So I'm gonna ask Mac first, and then you can answer after him hit, and then we have the young boys backstage. We're gonna bring them on, Nate and Logan, and they're gonna get a chance to answer. So the question is Joe Burrow proven to be an elite quarterback?
Oh man, I'm gonna tell you what, man. He absolutely is, man. I mean, look, sometimes these guys get these number one picks, these teams, and sometimes they hit, sometimes they miss. Man, Joe Burrow is a definite hitter, man. Last year, before he tore his ACL, he was pretty much lighting the league up as a rookie, and he had the injury. And everybody, I was hoping he wasn't going to be a setback, and he came out this year fire, man, guns blazing, man. He's a quarterback. He's over 4,000 yards passing on the season himself right now. He's got 2 wide receivers over 1,000 yards. 2 young stud wide receivers over 1,000 yards, and
real fast, Mac. If you guys didn't notice yet, this is an episode where we talk all about sports. So Premium Takes is a podcast where we don't only cover the Giants. Now the Giants will be our main focus at times, but we're gonna cover everything. I mean, like we might even get to bowling if it's interested one day. But until then, we're gonna cover all the hot takes going on sports. And I'm sorry to interrupt, Matt. And we got Adam here. I'm gonna bring Adam on, being that he's a co-host, but I'm gonna ask him to stay to give his opinion right after you, Mac. And don't leave here. We're gonna bring you back on soon.
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on, fellas? How are you? Sorry about that.
Oh, now what's going on, Adam?
You good, Adam?
Hey, what's up, man?
But so Joe Burrow.
Glad to be part of the crew here.
Yeah, he's
Let's get it.
Definitely the real deal, man. He's definitely proven to just be a franchise quarterback, man. He is. It's nothing fake. That last year at LSU, that wasn't a fraud. Joe Burrow is the guy, man. He's got this team looking like they're going to be a scary football team to deal with for the upcoming years, man, because this offense is absolutely loaded. I mean, he's got 2 wide receivers on their rookie contract over 1,000 yards receiving.
Yep.
That's crazy. He's on his rookie contract still. I mean, Joe Mixon's probably about to get paid a little bit, but at the same time, that team is going to be scary for the years to come if they keep everything together and they can stay healthy, man. Joe Burrow is definitely the real deal, man. He's an elite quarterback, I believe, right now.
Absolutely. And before I let Hit answer that question, I just want to lay out some rules. There's about 3 rules of this podcast. Rule number 1, have fun. Just have fun, Rule number 2, be yourself. And rule number 3 is kind of serious, guys. Rule number 3 is try to keep your answers under 3 minutes. Now, it's okay if you want to rant. All you need to say is, I want to rant. And then you can have the mic for however long you want to have the mic. But if you don't feel like this is a place where you need to rant, just try to keep your answers under 3 minutes. Mac did a perfect example on he gave his opinion on Joe Burrow, and then he answered the question. So that's perfect. Mac, perfect for setting the example. And Hit scored. Let's hear your point. And please, any guest can rant too. If any guest wants to come on, all they need to say is, I want to rant. And then they're welcome to rant. Let's get a Hit.
Yeah, so I actually like Joe Burrow a lot. Would I say he's elite? Not yet, but I think he's a really, really good quarterback. I think that Cincinnati has their franchise quarterback. The only reason why I'm not saying elite is he's only played 15 games in his career.
Yeah.
Obviously, the injury last year. But I was really surprised because, and I'll eat this crow really quick. I was one of the few people that said I was really concerned with, Cincinnati going forward because they didn't really address the offensive line. I thought they should have took so well, but no, he's going against all odds and balling out. So not elite yet, really good. And Cincinnati got their guy, but going forward, I think he can be them.
I like that. Adam?
Again, thank you for having us. But I think Joe Burrow is on his way, man. I mean, I don't know what you guys need to look at, but the kid has improved. I mean, the first year he blew out his knee, and now he's basically to the playoffs. Right? So we just or going.
Adam, you're cutting in and out. I'm gonna try. We'll try to disconnect. We'll try to disconnect you, Adam. We'll try to reconnect and then come back. You're cutting in and out. I'm sorry about that, Adam. You are hosting this channel, so disconnect, reconnect, and we'll get you back. Hit. I'm gonna remove you real fast. I'm gonna get these younger guys' opinion. I will bring you back to answer the next question. So let's bring Logan on. Logan, is Joe Burrow proven to be an elite quarterback?
In my opinion, yes. You know me, I'm a diehard LSU fan. I know he passed for 530 something yards yesterday, 4 touchdowns. He did great yesterday. I don't know if he gave him too much credit. Obviously, he did good yesterday, but Baltimore was playing literal practice squad defensive backs. So I don't know.
I like that, Logan. Stick around, and thank you so much for holding it down. Logan did an excellent job on dropping everyone's links, so make sure you guys go check them out. Logan, stay around. I want you in to answer the next question. Thank you so much, my friend. Let's bring on Nate. What's up, Nate? Joe Burrow proven to be an elite quarterback?
Yes, and this is pretty much on the season. The guy's been great. He's made some mistakes this season that you scratch your head on, but he's still a really good quarterback for what he has over there. They build the team around him, and that's a good quarterback. You use the talent that you have. So, do I think he's elite? Yes, that's my thoughts on that.
Absolutely, Nate. And I thank you so much for sticking around, bro. We'll bring you back on for the next question. Let's get it. Alrighty. So we'll bring back Hit, being that he's the co-host until Adam gets back. Hit, I'm gonna let you take this next question. Is Pete Carroll on the hot seat? Is his time up in Seattle? They just lost to the Bears. Really tough game. Do you think that his time is done in Seattle?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think that he absolutely should be on the hot seat. I think that when you're in a division with Sean McVay, you're in a division with Cliff Kingsbury, who's looking like a pretty good NFL coach. I just feel that Pete Carroll's a little out of touch right now. I think that, you go back to when they were, in the Super Bowl, or, they went back to the Super Bowl and lost to Brady. I mean, I definitely do think that those were his best years, but right now, I don't know. I think that Seattle needs a fresh restart. And that's nothing against them. They're one of those teams that hasn't been in the position to rebuild like that, especially on the offensive side, having Russell Wilson. So, yeah, I definitely think he's on the hot seat. Get a new coach in, and I think we should expect Russell Wilson somewhere else next year.
Absolutely. Now, Adam, you joined us back. I want to say, did you want to did Adam, you gave your point on Joe Burrow, right? But you didn't get a chance to finish. So let's revert the question back, and Adam, I'm gonna let you get a chance to finish this.
Okay, so you hear me?
Yes, perfect.
Okay, so Joe Burrow, to make it quick, is going to be an elite quarterback. Cincinnati got it right for the first time in nearly 2 decades. I remember this team when they had Jeff Blake on their team, right? So Mac knows what I'm talking about. Yeah, Jeff Blake playing the ball over the Achilles Smith. You had Achilles Smith, who was drafted for this team too. A lot of bums came through that Cincinnati organization. They finally get it right, and he's taking them to where they need to go, and that's the playoffs. So if you haven't seen this year the growth that you need to see in terms of being a franchise guy, then I don't know if you're going to ever see it, because the kid has improved from year 1 to year 2. They've been in close, tight football games, and he's drove them down the field and won these football games. He's threw for over 500 yards. I know that's not as big of a feat now as it was maybe 20 years ago. But you understand, that's still a lot of yards. Not many guys have done that in games in the history of the NFL. I mean, look at Boomer Esiason. He did it back in the mid to early 2000s with the Cardinals. You know what I mean? So to throw for 500 yards, I think he's well on his way to becoming an elite quarterback.
Absolutely. I love it. Now, Adam, I'm going to let you take this next question, and then pass the mic over to Mac, and then we're going to bring on Nate to get Nate's point.
And what was that question?
Is Pete Carroll on the hot seat? Is Pete Carroll on the hot seat? Is his time up in Seattle?
Ooh, well, that's a tough one for me, because when you get disgruntled players like this, you're probably going to run it back 1 more year. And what I mean by that is Pete Carroll, yes, he's on the hot seat, but they're going to say, listen, we're going to get rid of Russell Wilson. We're going to get new draft capital, and we're going to see what a la Bill Belichick has done in New England, right? He's earned that clout. He's won a Super Bowl. He's been to 2 Super Bowls with that franchise. You're going to give this guy a chance to fail on his own without Russell Wilson there. So I think he's going to come back next year. If he is fired, John Mara better be on the damn phone calling him on speed dial saying, "Hey, we may need to get you in here." But that's a talk for another day. But I think Pete Carroll's safe for me.
Hell yeah, Mac. Is Pete Carroll on the hot seat?
Absolutely. I mean, I agree 100% with Adam actually on this one. He actually took the thoughts right out of my head. The exact same, basically, I feel the exact same way. I think Pete Carroll has earned a certain level of respect that, even though things are starting to kind of slide and get away from him right now, he has enough respect. He's earned enough respect. He'll get the opportunity to see if he can right this ship, turn it back around. Just like Adam said, I agree 100%. I don't necessarily think he's actually on the hot seat currently right now, because I think he will get another opportunity if he so chooses. But pretty much, it's almost like it's his discretion. Basically, I think he gets that level of respect.
You guys all make excellent points, and I'm gonna have to agree. We're gonna bring Nate on. We're gonna get Nate's point. Nate, Pete Carroll, let him go, fire him, keep him on one more year. What would you do?
I'm gonna keep him on for another year. He's that franchise has had him for years. He's known every player probably on this team at this point, but he's that legendary in this franchise, man, where he has brought them Super Bowls. So if I'm in that situation, keep him on for another year. It's not his fault that the offensive line is terrible and this team has nothing around him. It's
Well, that's where I'm going to disagree with you, because he's bringing in the talent for the offensive line. So the coach knows who's coming in and out of there. And the fact that they don't have an offensive line, yes, I blame him for it, but I can't fire him for that. But go on, Nate. Sorry.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Real fast, Adam. I think in Nate's point too, he meant also too, like, the defense as well. But Adam answered it in the same way as well.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Absolutely. Stick around, Nate. We want to bring you on for the next question. Logan, your time is called. Pete Carroll, stick around. Keep him over you.
I'm just gonna say it straight up. Pete Carroll is gone. Russell Wilson is gone. Seattle is done. Peace.
All right. Nice, fast, straight to the point, guys. All right, now we're gonna dive into Giants things just in a bit, guys. But before we take a dive into Giants things, let's get into some NBA talk. Steph Curry, he's just breaking records this month and continues to go on a rampage when it comes to shooting. I'm gonna let Mac answer this question first.
Go, Mac. Curry, get him, Mac.
Shooter of all time.
Educated Mac. Educated Mac.
We got a lot of great shooters. We got Reggie Miller.
Educated Mac.
We can name a lot, but look at the statistics. I'm gonna come on and say Steph Curry is probably the best shooter of all time. I want to hear your guys' points on it.
Oh man,
we're gonna bring in Hit Spot in here in a minute and get Hits points, and then Nate and Logan will get in here. Mac.
I mean, I've seen some great shooters. I know. Man.
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up. I watched Larry Bird, man. Like, clutch situations.
Larry Bird
situations, man. Game on the line, championships on the line. I've seen Reggie Miller, throat slashing the New York Knicks, man, in Madison Square Garden.
Those are big time players talking about.
I mean, I watched Reggie Miller in one. I can't remember. I think it was a playoff game when he scored.
Against the Knicks.
He scored, against the Knicks, where he scored like what? He hit like 2 big threes, right in like a matter of like 6 seconds, bro. Just back to back on him, bro. Like, I mean, and I'm not knocking what Steph Curry does.
No, not at all. That's why I love this question, and I knew it was going to be a fun question.
And he's definitely a great shooter, man. I haven't seen him in those major pressure situations like I've seen some of those other guys in the past where they getting it like he does. He's a great, he shoots well. He hit at the record already, and almost half the time it took Ray Allen to get it. I get it. He's a great shooter.
Another great shooter, yeah.
He's a great shooter, and Ray Allen is my guy also. But I grew up in an era, man, where
Larry Bird. You mentioned him too. He's probably top 5 as well, if not top 3.
Larry Bird was the guy. He was the guy. That's why when people try to discredit him and when they talk about the greatest all-time players, and then people mention Larry Bird, and then they'll be like, "Oh no." People try to like discredit Larry Bird.
Adrian, we got a Mavericks fan in the house. What's up, Adrian?
Right now, it's a no for me on Steph Curry being the greatest of all time. I can't call him that yet. I got to see him hit some of those big buckets when it's really when the lights are really on. And I know they won some championships, but they were just dominating. They weren't like having to hit big, come down to the wire, hitting clutch shot. Like I said, Reggie Miller, Larry Bird, those guys was doing it because they absolutely had to, not just being part of the Splash Brothers. You know what I mean? Just going to keep shooting trees all day long. They did it in a different
Now,
kind of era.
Now I know Adam. I know Adam's gonna want to give his point. Now, before you give your point, Adam, I'm sorry, Mac. Were you done?
I'm done. I'm wrapped.
All right, I didn't want to just grab the mic from you. Now, before you give your point, Adam, Steph, I'm gonna kind of like debate Mac's point, but I'm gonna use it against you because I know you guys are gonna probably in similar thinking. Now, Steph Curry is leading in all categories when it comes to shooting. Well, not all categories, but when it comes to the 3-point shot, like he's up there in percentage. Mac, you're more than welcome to rebuttal. Adam, to please take the mic.
I'll take it like this before I give it back to Mac. Okay, first off, they making the game a 3-point game. So you're going to take more 3-point jumpers. So you can't give me that he's a great 3-point shooter or the best just because they take more shots.
That's true.
When you get more at bats, you're going to hit more home runs. Come on, fellas. This is no joke.
That's a good
Ray
point. I
Allen
like that.
is hitting 3-pointers from the moon. Okay, we have Reggie Miller doing the choke symbol. Okay, you want a little runt player and Steph Curry who would never even survive in the 90s. Hello, Jordan. Hello, all them Detroit Pistons. You know,
He's not lying.
he wouldn't be shooting threes.
Right.
You know, he'd be carried out in a body bag because they would have taken him out in the first quarter. Okay, those bad boy Pistons would have said, "See you later, little guy. Next time, come to the rim." You know why? Because you can't touch anybody in the NBA. I could shoot 3-pointers and make them all day if I had his skill set. Give me a break. You want to talk about
now that
is
a premium take.
Right now is because all the young bucks are like, oh man, that's all they want to do now is shoot threes. I remember the days when you dunked on cats and posterized mother flippings. You know what I'm saying? I want to curse because people may be on this stream, but what I'm saying is you used to posterize, you used to put your nuts on people's foreheads and say, go see my poster later on. Now we want to, shoot the J, shoot it. Give me a break, man. That kid wouldn't have lasted in the 90s. Mac knows it. I know it. You can call him Michael Jordan. He'd probably tell you the same damn thing too.
I love it.
Those are facts.
I love it. Let's bring on Hit. Let's get Hit's point, and we're gonna bring on Logan and then Nate. Hit, you there, buddy?
I'm here, man. Y'all
Steph
ain't
Curry?
gonna like me on this one, man.
Best shooter of all time?
Steph Curry is the greatest shooter of all time, bro. This man is changing the game right now in a league with Kevin Durant, LeBron James, just to name a few, man. I mean, I love Steph Curry, man. Obviously, there's only so much I could say because I'm not as old as like Mac or AC, man. But for me, man, this is the greatest shooter, man. But I'm gonna get up before y'all get on me real quick.
I know. Oh, let Nate go.
Do I think he's the best shooter of all time? I'm actually gonna agree with Mac and I'm gonna say no. I watched
somebody educated this man.
I watched this dude's highlights, half court shots. I've watched this dude make some crazy shots. Like it's unreal.
If no, Mac mentioned some players that he would put above. Who's players that you would put above?
Me?
Yeah. Who?
I would definitely put
the best shooter of all time.
Ray
Allen?
Yeah, I have Ray Allen above.
Okay.
In my opinion, I know Steph and him are really good friends, but come on, it's Ray Allen. But it's I also am gonna say
Jesus.
I'm gonna say Stockton, dude. Stockton was a baller. That dude used to make shots that you couldn't even think of shooting.
Yo, Dirk Nowitzki was a good 3-point shooter. We didn't even mention him.
Yeah, sure didn't.
I love it. Stay around, Nate. We're gonna love to hear your points on the next question.
I mean,
Logan,
give me a break. Greatest 3-point shooters in the world.
Okay,
Logan.
First of all, please do not bring up Reggie Miller's name ever again.
Reggie Miller's a baller.
Stop talking, Zion. And second,
hey. Respect the host.
And no, Steph Curry is not the best 3-point shooter of all time.
Welcome back, Logan. You're more than welcome to come back up.
Who's the best? Would you put Larry Bird? Would you put Ray Allen?
I would put Larry Bird.
You put Larry Bird?
Yeah, that's his dad talking right there. That's his dad talking. His dad has educated him on the history of sports. That's why I love talking with Logan because he doesn't just bring up now guys. He brings up then guys too.
I love it. Stick around, Logan. You're gonna want to come in for the next one.
And
All right,
just
guys.
for one real quick, Zion.
Absolutely.
Something Adam did say, mentioning that when he was talking about it, he's right. The era is completely different, man. Like you
That's
said,
true.
I can't see Steph Curry surviving in the '80s with the bad boy Pistons, man. That team was rough, bro. They roughed you up, man. They rough people up.
Dude, that guy gets hurt going left or right. You think the bad boy Knicks aren't going to put him on the IR for weeks? That kid's not going to want to play. He's going to go cry to Ashley Curry and say, "Listen, please don't let me play tonight. Let's go back on a cooking show. Let's do something else."
That is true, though. Like, the game right now, this day and age, fits him perfectly. He was able to dominate in this game perfectly. We're gonna have Joel pop on and get his question. Get his thoughts on Steph Curry being the best shooter of all time. And Joel, you're more than welcome to,
he's so old.
He's so old. Get in on this, yes.
Out there, I just felt like that.
Oh my God!
Go get him, Joel.
Man, listen, okay. You want to talk about the best shooter? Listen, the best shooter I ever seen shoot a basketball was Curly Neal for the Harlem Globetrotters. Okay? That man could do shots nobody else had ever even seen before.
Wait, Joe,
okay,
how
that
far
man with a basketball in his hand.
80s.
What?
70s,
the Harlem Globetrotters?
60s. When did he play?
He was doing stuff.
I'm sorry, I never heard of him.
A thought.
He was in like
you never heard of him?
I'm just here to get educated.
Oh
70s got you guys. Got you.
They didn't even have a 3-point line.
And no disrespect to him. Just wanted to get educated.
Right.
Continue.
Man, listen, what Adam just said. We never had a 3-point line. That's a new thing. The shot clock, that's a new thing. Basketball was completely freaking different when these guys were doing this stuff that we talk about. You know, it wasn't no Euro step BS. I can't even watch a basket. I tried the other day. I can't handle that crap. Oh my God. My God. They actually come under the ball, roll their hand over the top. That's traveling, my God.
Harry, hello.
Right. I have not seen this motion from a ref in so goddamn long. I can't handle it. It's Lou wants the link. It's in the Twitter in the Big Blue Crew, Lou.
Let's get it.
Joe, man, listen, I'm not taking nothing away from Steph Curry. All right. He is a talented basketball player. I'm not going to deny that. He can definitely shoot the ball. I definitely agree with that. But when you look at somebody who's great, that's a guy in the moment. Okay. If Curry was great, he would not have lost to LeBron. That's something Larry Bird wouldn't have done. That's something
Joe,
Michael Jordan would not have done.
Shooter. It doesn't matter about beating LeBron.
Listen. Larry Bird took over games, man.
Yeah, no,
Michael Jordan took over games. Magic Johnson took over games. I mean, even Charles Barkley took over games.
Drazen Petrovic took over games.
A great shooter.
That's a great player.
Go look him up, fellas, or people. He's a great player, lost very early in his career.
Dude was a beast, bro. But listen, I'm sorry that I didn't make any of y'all streams today. My brother, my best friend, just came home after doing 22 years. Solid dude. Didn't speak. He did something, you know what I'm saying? Holding down a family member of mine because I was out of state. He took the whole ride like a real G. Just came home after 24 years. You know what I'm saying? And I spent the day bigging him up, talking to him. And we about to do some big things for him, get my man set on his feet so he ain't got no doors being closed in his face and he don't got to do nothing to jeopardize his freedom again. That's how real recognize real, when you hold somebody down and then you hold them down in return while they do their bid. That's that real shit that niggas don't do no more. Shout out to my nigga Chaos. Welcome home. I love you, boy. We about to put you on your feet, my nigga.
Let's get it. Good
deal.
I love it.
Congrats, Lou.
You have good news.
Yes.
Sorry, I just had to tell somebody that shit, bro. That shit don't happen no more.
Man. What a platform, man. That's
Absolutely.
What we're here for.
Now, G Nation and Classified, since we have you on right now, I'm gonna let you guys answer the 2 questions we just ran through. Answer it as long as you guys want. Joe Burrow proving to be an elite quarterback.
Who?
Joe Burrow, is he proven to be an elite quarterback?
What's he in his third season?
Second
He's, yeah,
season.
second
Season?
actually, yeah.
Too early.
Too early to tell. Joe?
I'm going to agree with Lou here. Now, look, he's looking impressive. Okay, I'm not
Right,
taking nothing
right.
away from him. He definitely can be that guy, but I'd like to see 1 or 2 more years. We always talk about winning. Winning is what determines a quarterback's greatness. Right now, he's winning.
Well, to
But
piggyback
we
off
all
of that, go
know.
ahead.
But we all know how the NFL, once they get a little film on you, figure out what you're doing, they can shut it down. So let's see if he can rise above that step. Then I'm going to say yes in 3 or 4 years. But right now, it's still just a little too early.
The only reason I'm even going to say that is because Eli Manning got 2 Super Bowl championships, 2 Lombardi trophies, and people still debating on whether this man is elite. He's number 7 all time in passing yards. He's number 7 all time in touchdowns. He's number 7 all time in passing attempts. You know what I'm saying? And they still questioning whether this man's elite with 2 Super Bowl rings, 2 MVPs, right? So it's the same concept for me as comparing Micah Parsons to Lawrence Taylor. Yeah, the kid's great. He's doing phenomenal things right now. But is he revolutionizing the game? Is he causing them to take another player from another position and make them chip block to account for him? Right? Is he
getting game
been in the
again.
league long enough to build up a sustained career of phenomenal seasons? See, because when you want to compare people, right, it's all cool. But when you start comparing legends and you start using words like elite with guys who've been in the league for 16 weeks, guys who've been in the league for 2 seasons, that's a real slap in the face to the guys that played 12 seasons, blood, sweat, and tears, injuries before all these pansy-ass rules, when people was getting their head tore off out there. You know what I'm saying? So when you make those comparisons, you know what I'm saying? These guys got to be in the league long enough to say, if you want to say Micah Parsons is a great rookie and he's having a breakout year, I'm all for that. I salute the brother. But when you say, oh man, I think we got another Lawrence Taylor. Lawrence Taylor came in the league 81 and retired in 93. That's 12 seasons of greatness, 2 of which he spent sidelined with injuries, and he put the numbers up that he did. Okay. Michael Strahan played 15 seasons. All right. And it took him 15 seasons to break that record by 1 sack.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? So when you talk about guys as elite or legendary, you got to give these guys some time in the league before you start comparing them to great ones. You know what I'm saying? They got to be consistent year after year to be compared to the great ones. Now we can say Micah Parsons might be another Romanowski or Atwater or you know what I'm saying, something like that. But when you start comparing him with names like Ronnie Lott, Ray Lewis, Lawrence Taylor, you know what I'm saying, Reggie White, shit like that, like that's crazy. You know what I mean?
Oh, I hear you. But here, let me rephrase the question for you then. Do you think he's worthy of the first overall pick where he was chosen? Because right now,
Joe Burrow?
Yes.
I mean, shit, what quarterback in his draft class is doing better than him?
I'm just saying, because right now we judge quarterbacks on winning. Right now, him and Herbert both have their teams in playoff contention. Okay, the guy who blew out his knee last year and is now putting up all-world numbers. I'm not saying he's elite. Now, I said he's going towards that direction. If you
he's certainly trending that way. Yeah,
right.
Definitely.
I mean, obviously, we can't say elite because we don't have the facts or the history or the statistics or the resume, they like to say, to make him elite. The problem with Eli Manning, I'll tell you this, is if his name was Joe Smith, no one would be talking about if he is one of the greatest passers of all time. But because his name is Eli Manning, it had to be compared to Peyton Manning. That's why you always have this argument with Eli Manning, because things that happen with Eli Manning are one, he was in different
but see, that argument has no validity because
real fast, I'm gonna let you go real fast, G Nation, but real fast. I think we're all adults here and we're handling it perfectly. So I'm actually gonna open it up, make the party a little bit bigger. But I asked if you guys all can just respect each other and not talk over each other, and you can continue, G Nation.
All right. Well, that argument, right, would have no validity in the sense that Eli Manning, right, even though people want to compare him to Peyton Manning's numbers and Tom Brady's numbers, right? Out of all the quarterbacks that are currently in the Hall of Fame, how many of them have 14 consecutive seasons with over 3,000 passing yards? Elway doesn't. Marino doesn't. You know what I'm saying? So you talking about some of the greatest of the great that don't have 14 seasons, 3,000 passing yards. 7 of those 14 seasons, 4,000 passing yards. You see what I'm saying? One of them, he was only 37 yards shy of 5,000 yards passing. Mind you, he did this shit with the worst O-line in history in the NFL, arguably. You know what I'm saying? So they can say that, oh, he finished 118 and 118. But if you look at what he was playing with and how fast he had to release that ball and how accurate he had to be with that short amount of time before somebody was at his neck, how many quarterbacks could stand behind that line and do what he did?
Well, let me respond to what you were saying because I wasn't quite where I needed to go with that point. What I'm saying is because Eli Manning is named Manning, people put him on a different pedestal because of that. Now, like I said, if his name was Joe Smith, we're talking about we have no problem putting him in the Hall of Fame. He's getting to the Hall of Fame for many different merits. Me, I believe he's a Hall of Famer. You can ask some people, they don't agree. I agree because he's done something that only like 4 or 5 players in the history of the NFL has done. That's been a 2-time Super Bowl MVP. Right? We're talking about, Tom Brady's done that. Eli Manning's done that. I don't think Ben Roethlisberger has done that. So just
Aaron Rodgers hasn't done that.
Just put in perspective when you talk about Hall of Famers. The thing that Eli also doesn't get recognized for is that he didn't play in a system that allowed him to pass the football. It was an Air Coryell run first type of system. So he threw the ball downfield in play action, which limited his reps to increase throws. My point is, when you look at Eli Manning from an outside perspective, we don't get the same story because we didn't live his journey. You know what I'm saying? Giant fans have lived the journey, so they can we'll always say, and the stats don't lie, that he's a Hall of Famer. Outsiders don't want to respect him because his last name is Manning. He didn't live up to his brother's name, which, and so people are still salty about him from doing what he did in the draft. You know what I'm saying? Like Golden Elway. People don't realize Elway did that. Okay, Elway did that back in the day. He didn't want to go to the Baltimore Colts, said he was going to go play with the Yankees, and so then the Colts didn't draft him when he went to Denver. Okay, so Eli Manning did the same thing. He pouted, said he didn't want to go to San Diego. San Diego drafted him. People were pissed off about that, how the challenge system got traded, blah, blah, blah. So Eli Manning has a lot of that history. So that's all I meant to say with Peyton Manning. Sorry, it was a long-winded answer to.
No, you good. But you show me another quarterback who in the NFC Championship game was not the NFC Championship game. Yes, it was. Right? Yes, it was. Who in the NFC Championship game takes the kind of beating that he took from the 49ers defensive front and keeps getting up.
Oh, yeah.
Keeps rearranging his helmet, takes his pads and puts them back under his jersey, gets under the center, calls a damn play, calls out the protections, and fucking still gets his team up the field to win the game and go to the Super Bowl. So, I mean, he was one of the most clutch quarterbacks in NFL history.
Probably the best clutch quarterback in the game.
A fourth quarter murderer when they was down and he had the ball. You know what I'm saying? So the whole argument baffles me when people be like, "Oh, Eli," and I'm like, and you guys are ready to call. Not you guys, I'm saying the NFL and the beat writers and all that. You guys are ready to call Joe Burrow elite and Sam Darnold is this and I'm like, but y'all steady shitting on Eli. Like that shit drives me crazy. These dudes haven't done shit in the league, but put on some cleats and learn some playbooks and make a few good passes. And everybody wants to sing their praises, but they want to shit on my big dog Eli Nelson Manning. You know what I'm saying? The Warrior, the Iron Man, 216 straight starts, no matter what the hell he was going through. That's a beast.
My man named his newborn after him.
Damn right.
Yeah.
Baby Eli. Lou, I'm going to let you answer this first, and then as soon as you're done answering it, I want you to just name the person.
Oh, I thought you were going to tell me to drop the mic and get off the stream. No, go ahead.
No. You're good. So answer the question and then name the person you want to answer next, and we'll just continue. After that person's done, they name who they want to answer it next.
Oh, okay. The trivia game on G Nation on Big Blue Cruise Iron. All right.
Thoughts on Giants versus the Eagles game. Give your opinion and then name the person that you want to get their opinion after.
Thoughts on the Philadelphia Eagles game from yesterday?
Yes.
I think Joe Judge broke my heart and did exactly what he said he would never do as long as he was head coach. He did the same thing that Doug Peterson did the last season. He just dressed it up a little better. But he did the same thing. That shit pissed me off. And I understand everybody on the stream was like, no, losing at this point is winning because of the draft picks. But in my world, You know, when he said that shit, I was so proud that he was our coach. And then when you turn around and you fucking, you got Lorenzo Carter out there. Well, I don't give a fuck if he's had 2 good games. You know what I'm saying? Ojolari should be out there. He needs them reps. It's his rookie season. Ellison Smith should be out there getting reps. Isaiah Wilson should be out there getting reps. You see what I'm saying? And you got fucking Nate Solder out there and fucking Matt Parrott. And now look at Matt Parrott's knee. Now, you know what I'm saying? We got to let him go. That's a big man. You ain't going to fucking come back from that. And next person would be Joe.
Oh, man, put the heat on me after that. How come I always got to follow the tough guys? Oh, my God.
I'm not tough. I used to be tough. Now I just want peace.
No, well, no, the guys that, you know, you're a tough act to follow, my guy. That's what I meant. You know?
Oh, well, thank you, sir.
Yeah. You know, it's like
I go fast, Joe. We'll get to you guys questions.
You gotta
and
follow
right
that
after
guy.
that one, we'll get to you guys questions. Continue, Joe.
The Eagles and the Giants. What do I make out of it? Look, this probably isn't going to settle well. I'm not trying to shoot myself up the ladder, so to say, by saying this, but Fromm is what Fromm is, and I saw that coming. And we had
Fromm is what
so
Fromm
much
does.
Anger, right? I mean, we had so many fights and arguments between us over this Giants team this year and the quarterback situation and everything that's going on that I'm like taking a little bit of a step back because we're too big of a family and we appreciate each other to be bickering over something that we really have no control over, but we have to sit here every goddamn Sunday and support and root and watch and just watch the mess that's going on. I get Saturday or Sunday with the Giants Eagles, just another mess. I mean, did any of us really think anything was good that was going to happen? We couldn't even get a first down. I mean, the defense balled out. That defense was just something else. I'm so proud of those guys for doing and lasting as long as they could before they got too damn tired and couldn't do anything anymore. I mean, I see the writing on the wall. I see guys that are going to be gone. I got a good idea of who the guys are that are going to be gone. Judge can only do so goddamn much right now. But the biggest difficulty right now is we're starting to get some answers as to what's going on inside the office, inside this team. We need more, though. We definitely need more information. And, you know, we do need to respect each other's opinions a little bit more and not get so heated, damn it. I hate seeing family fight. That might have been a little bit too deep. I apologize. But,
who the hell fought today?
Lou, the thing is, me and Zion snapped at each other one time, and we were adult enough to realize what the hell was going on and stop the conversation. You know, props to Zion. Stepped right up. I stepped right up. It was great. We respect each other so much. But I'm sorry, this Giants team and organization right now should not have us fighting and yelling at each other. You know, we should still remain to be civil. We appreciate each other way too damn much on this channel, and especially it's not fair to our viewers. The people that tune in here don't need us to see us hollering and bitching and bickering all the damn time. Like I said, that might be too deep, but that's what this Giants team has turned us all into right now. We're beat down. We're disgusted. We're embarrassed. We don't even buy Giants gear anymore. We've got nothing to root for. This is just the worst I've ever seen from the Giants. I mean, this is really comparing to the
bickering
70s.
Bills.
Right. Basically, we are bickering with each other. And I want to be the first to apologize if I ever offended anybody in any way, man. That's not me. And this team has turned me into something I am not happy with. I got to shut up now because I'm just getting too deep and too mushy. Adam, take over.
Well, after that, I don't know where I should start. No, I'm just kidding. But this
play taps.
Hey, absolutely, Adrian. Thank you so much for coming on. Thank you, bro.
This team is terrible, absolutely terrible. Okay, and all those that want to keep Joe Judge need to look in the mirror right now because that performance yesterday was terrible. I mean, first off, you start the kid, only to get scared and take him out of the game, right? And then put in Glennon. And what's Glennon's first order of business? To fumble the football. Second order of business, to throw an incomplete pass to a guy that's wide open in the dirt. This is what I'm talking about. This guy has personnel decisions. He's made those decisions.
I'm sorry.
Booty for another guy who's caca. I don't know what you want to do. They're together. They make one fucking shit. Okay?
I'm sorry, Adam. I don't mean to laugh at you.
This has been another episode of Fired Up with Adam Costas.
It's like in one hand is the fucking shit, and the other hand is the butt cheeks that left that shit. You know what I mean? It's like, what is going on here?
I'm gonna tell you what's going on. We took a Glennon on the field.
We did more than a Glennon.
Right.
Whatever diarrhea is, that's what we did. Okay? Diarrhea of the football field is what the New York Giants are right now.
Oh well, the diarrhea of the football field is when you combine a Fromm and a Glennon.
Right.
That's how you get diarrhea on the football
okay?
field.
You got a Glennon going on here, okay? That's what's going on. A giant pile of doo-doo in the middle of the field that we watch every Sunday. And then we're going to clap because he hit Evan Ingram on a seam route at the end of the game. Jason Garrett and fan base.
I love it.
I'm just sick of this shit. Literally, I'm sick of the for Glennon that's going on all over the damn friggin' field. Because we sit here every week and the judge is going to be like, well, this doesn't look like a guy who.
You know what? I want to thank all of you guys because I just figured out how I'm going to stop cursing.
How?
What you gotta do?
I don't know what the hell's going on. All I'm saying is this, okay? I am tired of seeing Joe Judge sit there and tell me that he's waiting for progress. This guy doesn't coach like he has a job next season, okay? He coaches like he still don't know what the hell he's doing and he's about to get fired. If John Mara could sit here and tell me that yesterday's performance is something that is progress worthy, then I don't know what he's looking at. Because to me, you leave the kid in, you give him trial by fire, you let him sink the ship, and then you walk out there and you say, see, I started from, here you go, on to the next question. What you did was you got scared and you put an even worse quarterback back in the game to try to light a spark. And what did he do? He turned that spark out. I need to move on to another topic. Somebody, Mac, you take over, man. This team gives me a freaking headache.
Point real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to say, I'm gonna just piggyback off Joe real quick. I agree with you, man. I mean, one thing that I love is that we can all have our differences, but in the end come together. But let me just say this much: and I'm not saying you, Slay. You know, some Eagles fan, some Cowboys fan, whichever want to talk shit about this team, man. Y'all gonna have to see me. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Let's get it. And real fast, Adam. The next time you want to rant, you have to say, "I'm gonna rant." Remember now.
No, that was perfect. You don't want
Right.
to you mess up the mystique by saying that shit. I'm gonna rant, guys.
Right. Point there.
Right.
Continue, Mac.
No, this offense is atrocious. I'm tired of looking at it week in and week out. We can't score points. Get down in the red zone. We can't punch it in the damn end zone. I think we're allergic to the fucking goal line. I'm frustrated watching it every week. We don't even get that many field goals on top of the fact that we can't score touchdowns. We don't even get a lot of field goals either. I mean, 6 points, 3 points. I mean, we only scored 3 real points yesterday. That touchdown was absolute garbage time as hell at the end of that game. It meant nothing to the game. It didn't impact the game in any way. Yeah, we have nothing playing quarterback right now. From Glennon, we don't have a good option. It doesn't even matter at this point. I agree 100% with Adam. You should have just kept Fromm out there, like you said. Let him take his lumps. This is the NFL. I mean, you knew you weren't going to get anything from Mike Glennon, yet you still. I mean, and just see if Fromm had. I mean, got to put him through the whole test, man. Give him the whole test. I feel like it was an incomplete class. You know what I mean? Incomplete class. You got to let him finish that game out and see if maybe this kid can maybe get some confidence in the fourth quarter. Possibly, who knows?
And sorry to interrupt. I'm sorry, but that's the perfect example of what I was trying to say, and I missed it. Right? You take him out after he throws a pick. Now, if he's a rookie and you're trying to build his confidence, mind you signed him from a practice squad, so he already knows. He's already doubting himself like, man, can I do this? Can I lead this team? Can I take command of this offense? He comes out there, he throws a pick. You yank him. Instead of sitting with him on the sideline with the tablet, showing him where he made a mistake, telling him how to read the coverage better so that the next time he steps out there, he can make a better decision. No, you yank him, destroy his confidence, and put a freaking Glennon back out there. Go ahead, Max. Sorry.
You need to trademark that word. That's bomb. That statement, taking a Glennon.
It's just other word, and that's in other words, man. Like this, the defense I know got off to a slow start this season, but they have been playing absolute, really good football over the course of the last second half of this season, man. And at this point, I don't even know how they can deal with it. Go out there week in and week out and look and sit on the same sideline with this atrocious ass offense when they're out there making plays on the field defensively. I mean, the score was only 3-3 at 3-3 at halftime yesterday. The defense is doing their damn job, and this offense can't punch it in the end zone ever. They can't make a play ever. Kenny Galladay is getting a huge salary this year, and he hasn't even scored a touchdown. Kadarius Toney is a phenomenal, flashy rookie. I mean, he's been injured a lot, banged up a lot, but find ways to get these guys more involved. The offensive line, I know, is just it's not worth talking about. It's shitty. We need 4 new ones. We need 4 new guys. 4 new guys.
I'm going to tell you right now, don't be surprised if when this season ends, and I'm not talking about in the offseason or nothing, I'm talking about as soon as the season ends, don't be surprised if a lot of guys that we thought might be back get traded or get cut for a comp pick.
Oh, I'm not worried.
Because I'm telling you, Shepard is more than likely gone. Zimenez is gone. I would love to have Blake Martinez back, but he'll probably be gone. Jabril Peppers will probably be gone. It's going to be a lot of dudes leaving this team.
Yeah, but you ain't going to get nothing for Zimenez but a bag of balls. Okay?
No, but you might get something for Peppers. You might get something for Sterling Shepard. You might get something for what's the other guy I just said? Peppers, Zimenez. You might get something for Bradbury. I mean, them compensatory picks might sound like some bullshit, but if you think about it, what has O'Shane Zimenez given us? What has Jabril Peppers given us for the last 8 weeks? He's been hurt, so he hasn't given us nothing. Blake Martinez has been gone for the past 14 weeks. You know what I'm saying? As good as he is, he's a tackling machine. I would love to have him back, but the way the cap is and the way they're trying to rebuild a whole new team, there's probably going to be a lot of this team gone.
Yo, I hear that. If I may, I'd like to take Ash's question here. There's a reason behind it, and I'm going to ask the panel: who are the guys that you root for right now on this team? Just give me a couple of names real quick.
McKinley, Tony when he's not on the field, but I still root for him. McKinley, Tony, Jones when he's playing, Barkley because I like Barkley, Williams because I like Williams. I like Dexter Lawrence, Ojulari, Aziz, absolutely, and Robertson because I think he can be something real great. Roche. And yeah, that's about it.
I like Roche. I like Ellison Smith. I like Ojulari. I like the Tay Crowder pick. I just said that. I like the Tay Crowder pick. I like the Carter Coughlin pick, even though he's been invisible for the last 6 weeks. I haven't seen him on the field.
He's on the
shit. But yeah, almost all the guys that I like, Judge brought here.
Thank you. I was just going to go there.
Yeah, and I'm not saying, and look, I'm not saying that he's a great coach. I'm not saying he's a great coach because he still leaves a lot to be desired. Right? I agree with all of you guys on that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he does know talent.
Go fast too.
He does know how to evaluate these young guys, right? So if he can get an offensive coordinator that is of the mindset of playing these guys to their strengths, then that would fit his philosophy of coaching. then we might be able to do something brilliant here. We all knew that he had no prior head coaching experience, and we all knew that he was going to lead a crutch at the OC, right? We thought that Garrett was going to be that cog in the wheel. Garrett turned out to mess up this offense more than we thought. But I believe if we fix the O-line and we get an offensive coordinator who knows how to play these guys to their strengths, I think he knows how to evaluate talent. And he's proven that he's a leader of men because this team has not fallen apart and started bickering with each other. They're still fighting for him. So he's proven that they bought into what he's selling. All right. So if we get an offensive coordinator that fits his method of coaching, which is play these players to their strengths, and then we fix that offensive line, we might turn it around completely next year. And I know people don't want to be optimistic and believe that shit. But if we go 11-6 next year, I'm going to tell everybody in the world to kiss my ass. I'm telling you.
Let's get it now. I do want to talk about Joe Judge, but real fast before we talk about Joe Judge, I do want to get Nate's, I want to get Logan's, I want to get Hits, and I want to get Slay's opinion on the thoughts versus the Giants versus Eagles. Make it fast.
That's not Slay. That's Jay.
That's Jay.
That's
Slay.
No, that's
And then Jay's in the background. He's going to be coming.
Well,
on
why
right
you
now.
copying Jay's
And
avatar,
then-
man?
That's
then real
Jalen Hurts,
fast-
not Jaden.
And then real fast, I do want you guys to answer this question as well. Make it a minute each, please. We're going to run through some questions, and then the next question is going to be about our whole coach situation. So a minute each, all of the people I just mentioned. Answer both questions.
Is Eli a top 15 quarterback of all time? No, he's a top 10 quarterback of all time, in my opinion.
Damn
And
right.
I think
Number
he's-
7 all time in passing yards, number 7 all time in touchdowns, number 7 all time in passing attempts. Fuck out of here. Two Super Bowl MVPs, 14 seasons with 3,000 passing yards, 7 seasons with 4,000 passing yards. Yeah, that's no question.
Let the man finish.
Elway didn't do that shit.
Thank you, Logan.
And then thoughts on Giants versus Eagles.
Aikman didn't do that shit. Sorry.
Let him finish, man.
Lou, if I can ask you to
Yeah.
treat it like a presidential campaign, please, and please not talking until he's done talking.
Jake from sucks.
Really nice.
Our other quarterback looks like a skinwalker. Our offensive line has 4 Glennons on it, and this team has driven me to huff Sharpies. Nate.
Did you just say a skinwalker?
Yes. Great
Okay,
reference.
moving on. Is Eli Manning a top? He's not a top 15 quarterback, top 9 quarterback. But moving on. This team sucks. There's nothing really to talk about. This team sucks. Probably this.
Young
we didn't
Blue
need to
Crew on
start
Fridays,
Jake Fromm. Just sign
Jaden's
me
channel.
off the practice squad. I could have done much better than that guy. I could have run at least, I'll say like 7 passes. But moving on. But Jake Fromm, you're a piece of garbage. Go back to Georgia. I don't even want you on this team anymore. And Mike Lennon, get out of here, bro. Just go home. No one likes you on this team, bro. If I asked at least 5 players, they all probably would say you're garbage.
Damn, you sound like a bully. Go
Yeah.
home. Nobody likes you on this team. Damn. Sorry.
Oh, let's get it.
But I'm gonna end with this. I think there's these players. I think the defense I feel so bad for these guys, man. They're working their asses off. Then they see this offense, like, God damn, you guys suck. Oh my God, this offense looks like a freaking Pee-wee offense. But
Well,
even my
see-
high school team may score more than this offense. I don't know. Next.
And I get all of that. I'm sorry I keep interrupting. I get all of that, and I agree with you 100%. But we're not that far off from being a great team, right?
Tyler Linder
And the reason that I say that is because they all have the hunger. They're all still fighting in meaningless games.
Yeah, our O-line definitely has hunger.
Listen, bro. What I said was we're just a few pieces away. Them few pieces are our fucking offensive line and one more edge rusher. Okay? This defense held the Eagles to 3 points for a half. This defense held the Kansas City Chiefs to damn near win the game. This defense held the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for the first half. You know what I'm saying? This defense is playing lights out, and they're just an edge rusher shy or maybe a middle linebacker shy of being a fucking prominent defense. Our offense, we have pieces. Barkley, Andrew Thomas. Daniel Jones is decent. I'm not going to say he's great. I'm not going to say he sucks. He's decent. He can be worked with, okay? You give him an offensive line and you teach him. That's why these coaches get paid millions of fucking dollars. Teach and develop these kids, okay?
Absolutely. And real fast, Lou, I love the fact that you want to make your point. I love it, but that you're gonna go first on the next question.
No,
But
I'm
let's
gonna
get-
shut up because I keep cutting everybody off. Go
You
ahead.
good, you good. I want you to go first on the next question because I absolutely 100% I love it right now because as a Giant fan, that's what we need. I don't want Giants fans to have their fucking heads down. No, we're not that far off. You guys fucking lift your heads up. And I know you youngins never seen the Super Bowl, but at the end of the day, you guys can go back and watch it on documentaries. And guess what? We're still a 5-star organization, right? So no matter how we've been in the dumps right now, I love what Lou's talking about because he's absolutely right. He's gonna go first on the next question. Giants pride, Giants for life. Slay, hit, and champ. 1 minute each.
Homie said
And then
you
we'll
can
move
watch it on.
But you want it from my side, right? Like how the Eagles are.
Well, yeah, obviously, Slay.
All
No
right.
one wants Slay. No one likes you.
Count
Go ahead.
the ums. Count the
Go
ums,
ahead.
everyone.
Go ahead, hit squad.
Yeah, no, Eli Manning, he's my top 10 quarterback. He's one of 2 quarterbacks that defeated the GOAT not once but twice. Not a lot of people can say that, so that ends that. Number 2, in terms of the New York Giants, man, I mean, I don't think we're necessarily far off, but there are things that have to be worked on, and I think that they're pretty obvious. This offensive line is horrible. This offensive line, honestly, man, I live across the street from UCF. I'm about to be a walk-on, man. This is ridiculous, man. I'm about to try to get myself into the NFL. This is
Right.
legit. That's how bad this offensive line is, man. I mean, but yeah, nah, man. It is what it is with the team, man. I mean, at this point, what else could you really say? I mean, you want to evaluate your players, but I feel like a lot of these players aren't going to be here next year. So, what players, even if you do evaluate them, are you going to want to keep? From this roster. But that's just how I feel.
Let's get it, Slay.
For the Eagles, I thought we were conservative in that first half. I thought Jalen, he missed a ton of reads in that first half. I didn't like how we kind of stood tall in the pocket, and when he saw the guy, he didn't, throw the ball there. Dallas Goedert, he had him on a touchdown in the back of the end zone. He didn't take it. He threw it to Quez Watkins on a slant. That's not what you want to see from your quarterback. I don't want him to keep missing reads and stuff and seeing the same stuff. Defensively, I thought we did good, but you're supposed to look good against a bad offense with Glennon and Fromm, second and third string quarterbacks. And he's also being hired for what is he? He's supposed to be hired for a head coaching job this year. I don't get that. So I thought we played a very conservative game in that first half, and then we kind of adjusted to your defense in that second half when it was tired.
5
Which-
ums.
Not-
5 ums.
Not bad. 5.
Champ, wrap this up.
I didn't know we were taking shots for everyone that said
No, just on
You guys are
Slay.
counting
Slay's-
ums? You guys are counting ums?
Yeah, Slay's bad because he uses an awful lot.
Yo, that's one of my favorite
And
words.
Real
Slay
fast,
also talks like a vacuum.
Real fast. Let's not just turn this into a roast and Slay. Champ, let's get your points.
Yo, first of all, what's up, everybody? Yo,
Jay.
everybody, how do y'all day go?
It
Good,
sucked.
good.
It
Yeah.
sucked like usual.
Hey, I'm breathing and I'm
Alright,
standing
well,
at home with my
very
family.
good.
I'm alive. I'm blessed.
Absolutely. Blessed.
Logan, keep that same energy on Friday without choke slam you, all right?
Oh,
Young
can't even start,
Blue
bro.
Crew. That's a plug for the Young Blue Crew podcast on Fridays.
That's
Jaden's
it.
channel.
And that's a plug.
Continue,
Me and
Jaden.
Jaden are getting in together for a UFC
All right,
fight.
Jaden.
okay, come
All
on,
right,
let's
go
rein it
ahead,
in.
at the points. Rein it in.
All right, anyway, what I was saying, Eli Manning's not top 15. He's top 10. He beat Brady twice in the Super Bowl. I don't know what more y'all want. And he's top 10 in every passing category. If that ain't top 10 quarterback, I don't know what is. I know he threw over 200 interceptions. Listen, most of them interceptions ain't his fault either. Wide receiver could drop a pass. A wide receiver could run the wrong route. The coaches come up with bad play calling. It's all combined. But for the Giants, we suck. Look, I met a Giants offensive line. Look, he's right here. It's some trash deal. Andrew Thomas, he's our best offensive line, but everybody else can just leave. I don't care anymore. I would love to keep Jones for next year. With Judge, I don't know.
Oh man,
I don't know.
Ash, Brett Favre.
I'm not
leads NFL
satisfied.
history.
I'm not sold in on Judge for next season.
Dang, bro.
He got to prove us wrong, though.
shit. Brett Favre led the league for 3 seasons in interceptions.
Brett Favre leads NFL history in interceptions, bro.
Yeah, look, Brett Favre's a Hall of Famer, right?
Logan, chill.
Yeah, man, for real.
All right, but listen. Now that everybody finished wrapping up their point,
I don't need your commentary.
I will. We're gonna
We're
let G Nation. We're gonna let G Nation talk and follow G Nation. I want Max point on it.
No, Adam, you really got to hear this, right? Because you're of the same opinion of Ash. You want Judge gone, right? Now everybody's entitled to their opinion, but this is the question I'm going to ask, and then I'm going to answer it, right? And then you guys can answer it. No, and then you guys can answer it.
Answer your own question.
What?
And then you guys are gonna answer it because I'm about to present this to you in such an articulate way that you're gonna have no choice but to ponder it while I'm answering it before you can rebut it. Okay?
Shoot.
Now, listen, how many good teams in the NFL have we seen that have great players and they can't get past themselves and they have losing seasons because they don't have the right culture in the locker room, right? We've been saying that shit for years. When Odell Beckham was asking the fucking net for forgiveness and all this dumb shit that was going on, right? We had lost the culture, right? Everybody was saying that Tom Coughlin lost the team, that he didn't have the culture in the building, right? So then we bring in McApoo, who fucking stunk, and we bring in fucking Shermer, and now we bring in Judge, right? And everybody saw that at the last half of the season last year, them guys rallied back and fought and won 5 out of 3 games. Now that doesn't happen without the most important fucking thing, culture. Okay, I've seen a million teams that had superstars all on their roster and couldn't win because they didn't have the right culture. This man, whether we want to fucking agree with it or not, has brought back the culture of hard-nosed fight for 60 minutes. At least it's showing on the defense. Now we need to shore up that offensive line, okay, and get Daniel Jones a better fucking receiver, right? And get him to shore up some of his mistakes because he's not perfect, right? But if you do that, the culture will take
that motherfucker
over.
out the chat right there. Get this person out the chat.
I did.
No, I already did that.
The culture will elevate everybody's play because they've already bought in. They're already fighting for this man, even though they're in their second losing season. They're still playing hard. Right? So he has rebuilt the culture. Now we need an offensive line that can block worth a damn so that Saquon can get his confidence back and Daniel Jones doesn't worry about his blind side not being protected and fucking making dumb decisions because he's scared of getting his neck tore off.
I like that because that was actually going to be the next question, and you can still have the mic if you want to answer it. I think you did a fantastic job, but here's the thing too. So we don't know the thoughts and words about Kevin Abrams. There's thoughts about John Dorsey. There's a lot of thoughts and a lot of points, you know what I'm saying, bringing in all these guys, right? But the point of the fact is that Joe Judge is going to have more control over this team and more control over the draft. So the next question was actually in line, was your thoughts on Joe Judge getting more control over the team, over the draft, just basically to build his culture. What you're saying, Lou, you can continue or you can pass the mic.
Now,
Vrabel,
Vrabel, Josh Daniels, all of them guys that have worked with Bill Belichick, the guys that have left, Matt Patricia and all that, right? They were positions coaches, right? Or they were coordinators. He came from the special teams department where they help with drafting. They help with the evaluating of talent, okay? Now, this is where the Nick Saban and the Bill Belichick mentorship comes into play. Because both of them are great at getting the best out of what they have. Okay? Both of them are great at taking away the other team's strengths and making them beat them with their weaknesses. Okay, so this man has that type of culture embedded in him. That's what he brought over here, whether we want to acknowledge it or not, because we've had 2 losing seasons. This team is fighting.
I
This
ain't buying what you're
defense,
telling.
this you
I'm
ain't gotta
not
buy
picking
it.
up what you're putting
This
down.
this defense has held some of the best offenses in the league this year for 3 quarters.
I ain't buying what you're selling.
Okay, had we had an offense that can fucking score, we would have won them games simply because of the defense. You add another edge rusher, you fix this offensive line to buy Daniel Jones some time while you teach him to go through his progressions, okay? And this team can make a fucking run next year. Not 2-3 years from now, next year, simply because the culture is already instilled to fight, fight, fight. And when you got that type of morale in the locker room and that camaraderie, them 53 guys on that fucking team will shed blood for each other and they will fight tooth and nail, and you'll win some of them fucking games that we lost by 3 points or 7 points.
Time out. So what's gonna happen right now? I just thought of this. All right. So basically, Lou has his thoughts on Joe Judge.
Yeah, I'm
Adam
done. Everybody
has
else can
his
talk.
Hold up. Adam has his thoughts on Joe Judge. What I want to do here is I want to bring you guys the first ever Premium Takes debate. So we're gonna remove everybody on screen, and we're gonna let Adam and G Nation. I want you guys to please be adults. Let the other person finish before you guys make your points.
Pause.
Adam, you can start off, and I want you guys to debate about the whole Joe Judge situation.
Why you want to kill me like that?
Let's get it, and it's gonna be fun. All right, guys. Adam,
Not you.
I ain't buying what you're selling, man. You can tell me all this culture nonsense. So that's what a used car salesman sells me. When my lemon breaks down, my engine transmission fall out once I get off the damn parking lot. All right. So this guy told me, oh, we're gonna punch you in the mouth for 60 minutes. Great. That doesn't mean you get the score run up on you 34-10. We've lost how many games we lost? 11. 8 out of those 11 games have been by double digits. Yeah, change the culture. We're headed to a 4-13 season. Yeah, change the culture. This guy makes people run laps for doing nothing. Yeah, change the culture. Yells at Cam Brown when his punter shanks a punt. Oh, that's great culture. You can keep telling me and keep buying and trying to blow sunshine up my ass. I ain't buying it with this guy, okay? Listen, you're supposed to fight hard. This is the NFL. Okay, you know this, Lou. A boxer doesn't just go into the ring and just stands there and gets his face pounded.
So you mean to tell me that Bill Parcells didn't curse these niggas out like dog shit?
In the 1980s, man. We're talking about a guy right now who has done nothing. Okay.
Okay,
Parcells
so
knew-
Tom
Parcells
Coughlin didn't curse and yell and fine and penalize dudes to the point where Michael Strahan was gonna quit in the 2000s.
He had some clout though because he
No, but you
was
said
a
that was
coach
the
in
80s.
Jacksonville.
You said that was the 80s. So
No,
it happened in the 2000s.
You just said Tom
Yeah.
Coughlin. Hey, listen.
Because when I
Listen,
said Parcells, you
I'm
said
not
that
putting-
was
I'm
the
not even
80s.
putting him in that realm.
No,
right
no,
now.
hold
What I'm
on,
gonna
hold
do
on,
is go back to-
hold on.
Nah,
Hold
man,
on.
you keep.
You said
Adam,
you
please,
said that was
please
the
let Lou
80s.
speak for a minute, and then you can.
No, because we're not mad. We just talk rough. He said,
I know, but
when-
we can't hear you guys when you guys overtalk each other. So I want it to be really
no, but
understandable.
when I said Bill Parcells used to curse them out like dog shit, you said that was in the 80s. So then I rebutted you by saying, well, Tom Coughlin did it in the 2000s, and they won 2 Super Bowls under him.
Actually, he had to loosen up for them to win
Mike
that.
Tomlin has been in the playoffs how many seasons? He curses them guys out, yells at them, walks on the field, and does hand gestures. We don't say nothing about that. Why? Because they're winning, right? But this guy came into a losing establishment. He has to build it first.
But what part of regression is progress, man? You're telling me progress, yet he's the worse record than he was last year. All right, he has 2 games left to win 6 games that he had last year. So now, if he does lose these next 2 games, he'll be 4-13. He went from 6-10 to possible playoff to 4-13 in an NFL where you can go from worst to first in a heartbeat. And yet this guy can't do that. This playoff roster, which was constructed by him, brought in a $72 million quarterback, brought in a cornerback that was supposed to help our team. We're supposed to be fighting for the playoffs, yet we're sitting here getting the same caca fed to us every day and expecting it to taste better because we added a few droppings of A1 sauce. Give me a break, man. I'm not selling it. All right. Next year, he has to come out gangbusters. I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear about no development of no quarterbacks. I don't want to hear no development or gelling of offense. If he doesn't come out and go 4-0 and he's 0-3, Bye. You need to cut him by
Hey,
week 4.
you get no argument from me there. If we come out next year in the first 4 games, we lay an egg, get his ass out of there. Listen, I don't disagree with that, but you also have to remember that his first year, he didn't have a damn preseason, none of that. He had COVID. Okay. Now, yes, every other team in the league had COVID, but they were not first-time coaches. Okay. And they weren't coming into such a shit show like he was. Now, that being said, this year he had preseason, he had offseason and all that, although it wasn't the normal one, he still had it, right? So then you had the injuries, you had the boneheaded draft picks by Dave Gettleman.
So let me ask you this question, okay? Who do you feel is better right now, Brian Flores or Joe Judge? Because right now, Joe Judge is on the Brian Flores supposedly level. Okay, Brian Flores came in and inherited a crap team. That team is now again fighting for the playoffs. The year before, they went 10-6. Okay, so for me, I need to see progress. And this team is fighting tonight on Monday Night Football to try to get a playoff berth.
Okay, now Brian Flores, did he have his starting quarterback? Did he have his receivers? Did he have his running back? Because we were missing all of those.
I don't want to hear about injuries in the NFL because there are teams that have injuries and they plug their guys in and they win football games. People want to make
so you're telling me what was it, 2016? Was it 2016 when we lost all our receivers in one game?
2017.
Okay, so that was your mindset then. I don't want to hear nothing about injuries.
Because they had injuries. You think the NFL team line up against us because of Dan that we lost 3 receivers? No, they don't. They're going to say
no, they don't. But what I'm telling you is you got to be realistic, bro. If you come out and play with the deck stacked against you, it's that much harder to win.
I'm hearing from you right now, man, from a guy who a few weeks ago was on the same train. So now you're off the train and want to be optimistic. I get it, man.
No, I don't want to be optimistic. I'm being logical to the point where if you think about it realistically, okay, in the last 6 seasons, we've drafted players for 4 different freaking schemes. We got defensive players for Tampa 2. We got defensive players for 4-3. We got defensive players for 3-4. We have a fucking hodgepodge of defensive players, okay? So no solid identity. Same thing with the offense. Okay, we got players for McAdoo, we got players for Shermer, and we got players for Judge. So we have to get rid of some of these guys and build an identity offensively and build an identity defensively, which is what he is trying to do, which is why he's trying to get some more control over the draft picks. Because whether you like it or not, the guys that he brought in here made an impact. The guys that Gettleman has brought in here have shitted on the field. With the exception of Barkley. But I still love you. You ain't got to be mad.
I love you too, man.
I love you too, man.
See, don't you love the bromance in the Big Blue Crew?
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm going to agree with you, Lou. We have to build an identity. The culture's first. I feel we have that, but we don't have a foundation. You know, I mean, even Ron Rivera came into a foundation. You know, Sirianni came into a foundation.
And all this money to be a 4-11 football team.
You know what? I don't know of any coach that could turn this team around right now with the way it's constructed. I really don't think there's a coach out there that would win more than 5-6 games with this team right now.
And I'm actually stunned at Adam because he knows that what I'm saying is true. You got players for a Tampa 2 defense, you got players for a 4-3 defense, and players for a 3-4 defense, and you're trying to play an amoeba defense. Like, you know damn well that me saying it don't even make sense.
But now look, real talk. The defense.
Go ahead, man.
Because forget about the defense right now. Defense is solid. You got a solid defense in New York. Nobody's really questioning the defense that much. Defense can get the job done. The offense, offensively, I feel like there are other coaches.
They scored freaking 35 points on us yesterday. Go ahead. My bad.
There are other coaches that are able to get Kenny Galladay in the end zone. That will be able to find ways to get Kenny Galladay into the end zone. I feel like the Detroit Lions coaches, whoever the hell they were a year ago or whatever, they found ways to get Kenny Galladay into the end zone. He only played like 4 or 5 games last year.
I
still
agree.
scored a touchdown.
I agree. I'm not
Nailed
arguing with
that.
you about that, Mac. But they
The worst
also
thing-
had an offensive coordinator from the beginning of the season to the ending of the season. This year, we lost our coordinator because he got fired because his offense stunk. But guess what? We're still playing with his offensive playbook. So is that Joe Judge?
Detroit Lions scored 29 points in the game. How many times have we done that?
Right.
Go down the list.
And how many offensive coordinators did they have this year?
16 points last
How
game.
many offensive coordinators did they have this year?
30 points in the previous game. Do you want me to keep going?
But they had different. We got different offensive coordinator, but he was still a coach that was already here on staff. It's not like it was some kind of drastic change to the offense. I mean, he just came in with a different maybe concept of play calling, but it's still basically the same damn offense, man. In the same way, we're still not finding ways to get our $72 million free agent wide receiver into the damn end zone. I'm frustrated about that. That pisses me off because I watched the New York Jets score touchdowns. I watched like the Jacksonville Jaguars score touchdowns. Those fucking teams suck, bro, but they still score points. We can't score points.
And I agree with you. I agree with you. I agree with you. Yeah, and I agree with you.
I'm not on the train of firing the coach every 2 years. I'm not on that train. I don't agree with that because that's no way to for anything to work. But at the same time, I'm not going to give this guy any more credit until I see it on the field. I got to see it on the field.
And I agree with you. What I'm saying is I'm not disagreeing with you or Adam in the fact of all the points you brought up are how sucky we are on offense and how sucky we can't get Kenny Galladay the ball. I agree with everything both of you just said, okay? The only point I'm making is it's not Joe Judge's offense. He did not implement this offense. He completely said it. He said, I'm not going to be the offensive coach or the defensive coach. I'm going to hire guys to take care of that. I'm the head coach. Y'all know I have no prior head coaching experience. He said all of this up front. So it does. It does. But when you fire an offensive coordinator mid-season, literally, okay, and you don't change the playbook, then is it his offense that stinks or is it the offense that you're trying to get rid of that stinks? That's my point.
I understand your point, and all I'm saying is the same thing I've been saying from Jump Street. There are teams like the Detroit Lions and the Jaguars. I don't give a damn who their coordinators are. There are coughing points. There are farting points. They are getting pick sixes, fumble returns, interceptions, deep throws to their playmakers. Kenny, how many receiving touchdowns do we have as our receivers? How many? Don't worry.
None.
Exactly. We have more than the tight ends. Our O-lineman has more. Lane Johnson of the Eagles has more touchdowns than our receiver. That is on you as a head coach. You need to find a way to make it work. You can't just sit there and give me excuses and say, well, it's on that guy, because that's what losers do. Head coaches say, yeah, it's on me to find a way to get this team in the end zone. That's what you do. You don't sit there and pass the buck and say, well, it's not my offense. No, because you know what? Then maybe you're in over your head as a head coach.
But he didn't pass the buck. That was me that said that.
I'm just saying, you act like it's not his team. It's his team. He needs to have a way to score points.
But he also needs to be allowed to build a team.
Right.
Dude, they went out this year and spent $72 million on a receiver for him to score no touchdowns. Are you kidding me?
That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
And we're sitting here saying, oh, this is progress. This team went out to go get the playoffs. That's what you are over the purse strings for. You guys all said 12-5, 11-6, 10 and whatever the fuck. You know what I mean?
Look, even if you got to sit on the sideline, get on your knee and draw a play up in the sand, in the dirt real quick and say, we're going to do this and get Kenny Galladay in the fucking end zone. You got to figure out a way to make that happen, man.
True.
You did not bring him in here to score no touchdowns. I mean,
Absolutely.
Right now, it just looks bad. We got, like I said, a young player, Kadarius Toney, who we can, from everything we can see, is an explosive young player, good talent. Why can't we find a way to get this guy into the end zone, make him bigger plays? Why are we the coaching staff that can't figure out a way to use the weapons we do have? Because every other team, they might not be loaded, but whatever they got, they find a way to use it, man.
Okay, so are we?
This staff just doesn't. We don't.
So
we're not bringing that out.
So are we just going to ignore the fact that he was forced to keep an offensive coordinator that he wanted gone last year. So literally his hands was tied into implementing the type of offense that he wanted. Are we just going to negate that whole fact and say it's his fault?
Yes.
When the owner forced him to keep a coordinator that he did not want, running an offense that he did not want, we're going to put that on him?
Yes.
You gotta find a way to make it work, man.
You're the
That's
head
what
coach,
great
Lou.
do. You
You're the
gotta
head
find a way
coach.
to make it work.
And I think it's a agree to disagree situation. I love everyone's points, but what we're gonna do now
Yeah,
is
listen, we
we're
mature.
gonna
I'm not going to ask
absolutely,
for nobody to
absolutely.
drop their address in the link. I'm not
No,
going to
no,
threaten to
no,
put my body parts on nobody's
no.
head. I'm not going to say no outlandish shit.
Oh,
You know what I'm
absolutely.
saying? Because I'm not mad about the size of my manhood. Fortunately, I'm blessed, so I have no need to run around angry all the time.
Okay, we're moving on to the next
That
question.
being said, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a detour away from the Giants talk for a little bit. I'm gonna ask Hit, Classified, and G Nation to come back and join us in a bit. We're gonna do Mac. I want your point. Adam, I want your point, and then we're gonna get the young blue crew on here. They're gonna give their point. First off, before I bring up the question, is there anything that you guys want to address, or any questions that you guys want to ask?
My last point on Joe Judge is that I'm not worried about culture when you're already staring down the gun barrel of a worse record. That's not culture to me. That's telling me something is wrong with what you're doing. You can tell me you're cleaning it up on the inside and everything's great and laying a foundation, fine. But you can't tell me because all I hear for Daniel Jones and Joe Judge are excuses, not solutions, excuses. Everything's an excuse. Well, if he had an offensive line, okay. Well, there's other teams that have lost this. Go look through the NFL. Other teams have injuries lists as long as ours. They find ways to win. You're the head coach. I don't want to hear about, oh, it's not my offense. Yes, it is yours. That's like the owner of a team or owner of a business saying, we don't sell that product here yet. That's the product that they make, right? The owner of the car dealership saying, we don't sell cars here. Those aren't my cars. Those are the guy who sold you his cars. No, you're the lot. This is your cars. These is how you present it. You're presenting to us that you are winning for 60 minutes. Yet in 8 of 11 games that we lost by double digits. That's all. I mean, that's the culture I want. Culture of double-digit losses.
Got you, Mac. Do you want to make any point, or do you want to have any questions before I pull up the next question?
Well, just real quick, like the thing with Joe Judge, I bought in all the hype last year, the last off season. I'm just not gonna fall into that same trap again, man. I just refuse to. I need to see the product on the field. I just can't reiterate that enough. I need to see what he gets done on the field. I don't care what he says in a press conference. I don't care about what he's doing in practice. I need to see it on Sundays on the field before I can buy any more hype, man. I'm not saying fire the guy right away. I'm okay with giving him an opportunity to take the reins, so to speak, and if he want and get all the pieces in there that he wants and make it truly his team, so to speak. But at the same time, I got to see it on the field, man. I got to. I can't anymore, man. I can't just keep listening to what he's saying and it sounds good, but it's just not showing. I'm not seeing it on the field. I'm not seeing it get done. So I need to see it.
Like you made that comment in the chat. You want to see it before you can believe it. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I know you Gucci, bro. Absolutely. So the next question I have for you guys is, what did John Madden mean to football?
Man, John Madden, man, the legend, man, absolute legend, man. I mean, in the '70s, I wasn't around for him when he was coaching. When he was coaching, I wasn't actually I wasn't around for most of that. But he was an absolute legend in the '70s. The things he did with the Raiders, man. I mean, he had that team balling all through the '70s decade. The Raiders was a legit franchise, man. And John Madden had a lot to do with that, man. He's responsible for so much in the NFL world, man. Even after retiring from the coaching and then going into broadcasting, man, like everybody knows Madden, man. Madden's a household name, bro.
Absolutely.
Madden, the Madden bus, the Madden football game. I mean, who didn't play Madden, man? Who didn't play Madden, bro? Everybody played Madden, bro.
That's facts. Still popping today.
I love John Madden. He's the reason I got into this industry or this line of thinking in terms of growing and doing something. I mean, when I grew up, watching him, and Mac, you're similar to my age, but when I grew up watching him, if he was on your broadcast, that means you had the game of the week. Didn't matter who played on Monday, didn't matter who played Sunday night. If Madden was calling your game, you were the game of the week. And you just sat there and you enjoyed the greatness that is Pat Summerall and John Madden. Pat Summerall with his drawl, and then John Madden with his energy. It just made you go. And then, of course, the branding. Everybody, like Max said, everybody has played Madden football, from its inception. Before I played Madden, I was into sports talk football, and that was the other competitor to Madden. And then before you knew it, there was nothing else but Madden, right? And he's been everywhere. If you can't mention the NFL without John Madden, he's part of that lore. He's part of that history. He's a brand now. He will be selling. He's like Jordan. He'll be selling shoes long before he's, when he's long in the ground. He'll still be, selling Madden products. Hopefully, it doesn't go anytime soon. But that documentary actually, got me misty-eyed because I was like, man, this guy touched so many lives, did so many things, spread good joy, and you don't have a team like them anymore. I mean, Joe Buck and Troy Aikman, yeah, they're the A squad, but I don't really like listening to them. It's not a John Madden, Summerall kind of guy. There are no iconic broadcasters anymore the way that Madden kind of did that. I mean, Al Michaels, I guess you can call Al Michaels that, but for me, John
Michaels, but Madden, yeah. Absolutely. I'm going to get young blue crew here. That's so tongue twister. I'm going to get the young next generation in here, and I do want to get Hit Squad and Joel back in here to get their opinions. I know Joel can't wait to talk about John Madden. And then I do want to get Slate back in here to get his points. So let's bring on the next generation and get their points. Jay, let's start with you.
Yo, what was the question? I was texting the whole time.
Right down at the bottom.
That's why they're youngins.
What did John Madden mean to football?
Man, a lot.
Don't
take over, Logan. Take over.
Okay, the history of the NFL wouldn't be the same without John Madden, like you guys said. It wouldn't be the same if he didn't get into football. I mean, he's his name is going to live on as long as the NFL lasts. Like you said, I mean, there's not much else to say because you guys covered it pretty well. The NFL would never be the same without John Madden.
Pretty much. Hey, yo, think about it. John Madden. So he came up with Madden?
Nate, let's get your point. What did he mean to you? Yeah, you did. You just said that.
He was a coach, and he called.
Welcome to the program.
Jaden, basically, he was a coach for the Raiders, and he did broadcasting, and he's probably the greatest broadcaster in sports history.
So you bought the game of Madden thinking that that's what the NFL's name in a different language? Like, what did you think Madden was? When you bought it.
That's crazy. I really don't know who that is, though, to be honest with you.
It's okay, Jaden. We're gonna educate you. Nate, what's your thoughts on John Madden?
Just that dude had a great career, man.
Time out for 1 minute, Jaden, just because of that.
No, stop.
Yes. Put him in time.
I'm joking. Continue, Nate.
For the outside of football, he was great. His announcing was my dad used to tell me all the stories about him watching him and getting inspired by John Madden. So definitely that side. And then off the field, my dad always told me about getting me into Madden. So definitely that side, I appreciate that. If I didn't have Madden, I would not have anything. So shout out John Madden.
You have a lot of things named, but shout out to John Madden.
This man's whole bloodline in life depends on a video game, bro.
No,
you too.
All right, well, hold up. We're gonna get Hit, Classified, and BPS back in here, and let's get their points. Hit, let's start with you.
Joel's still laughing.
Lay off my man Jay, man.
Facts.
Yeah, I got you, man.
Yeah, thank you, bro. You like the only one that actually has my back, unlike other people.
I got you.
It shows they true.
We all have your back. We're just laughing at the fact you didn't know who Madden was.
That's crazy. I fucking know.
But nah, John Madden, he meant a lot to the game, man. I mean, obviously, I'm not like the rest of the dinosaurs on this panel that John Madden played. But I'm not like the youngins either. I'm like right in the middle. I'm not.
We played it on Sega.
I'm right there with you here.
I didn't see Madden play.
John, you older than me. I don't even know what you mean. But we
might be on the same age. I'm not that much older.
But besides the point, man, John Madden meant a lot. I mean, from what I've seen, I know that he has like a couple documentaries. I mean, he's a legend, man. I mean, he really. I mean, when you really look at him, not just even in the broadcasting world, but just like as a coach, man. I mean, that's who you want as a coach. And I think that if you ask any Raiders fan, they'll take John Madden any day, man, compared to any of their other coaches they've had since John Madden. But nah, man, John Madden, love the guy. I wish I was around when he was at like his prime. I'm sure Joel's gonna tell some great stories. Joel, take it over.
Story time with Grandpa Joel.
No, I'm going to let Slay go first. That way he doesn't get to repeat what I say.
Oh,
there
yeah,
we go.
sure.
Slay.
John Madden definitely meant a lot
just
to
did
the
a
football world.
Google search.
He's definitely the greatest sports broadcaster ever. He was with the Raiders. He was with the Vikings. I believe he was 132 and something. Like, he won so many games in football. And he was also the youngest head coach to reach 100 regular season victories. And that was when he was 42. So John Madden definitely meant a lot to the game. Go ahead, Joe.
All right. I'll tell you, back in my day, Mac probably attest to this. You didn't watch football to watch football. You watched football for John Madden and Pat Summerall, because those two in the broadcast booth were just phenomenal. I mean, John Madden, when he got his hands on that touchscreen when it first came out, it was just pure genius. It came out at the perfect time for that man. He'd be sitting there circling this guy with the boom, the bang, the pow, the zoom, the crack. But that's when you could play football. That hit we saw in Dallas that everybody was like, oh my God, and they threw a penalty flag on it for the tight end. That was just about every play. That's how guys played the game back then. I mean, we were watching men go against men, and it was literally they were going to put a hit on you if they could. That's why a lot of guys did not survive over the middle of the football field. And that's why Jerry Rice made so much damn money, because he knew how to avoid that shit. He would duck. And he wouldn't take a big hit. There'd be a glancing blow. He'd get up and he'd continue right on to play. He understood the defensive mentality. The Atwater and Lott and all those great guys were coming at him. I mean, he was not playing against secondary guys that were second or third stringers. These guys were hitters. These guys lived to light you up. The NFL, the NFL literally had tapes. The biggest hits of 1990, the biggest hits of 1985. 86. Lawrence Taylor was in there. Gary Reasons was in there, just laying the smack on people. And you listen to Pat Summerall and John Madden go up in the booth and go, ooh, you knew it was a big hit. Those guys were something else. And John Madden, his career is phenomenal. He was 103 and 32 and 7. 103 wins, 32 losses, and 7 ties. But for everybody that, look, sometimes it does take a little bit to get a team right, because his first year in 69, he was 12-1-1. But then in 1970 and 71, he went 8-4-2 both years back to back. So I'm sure that people were like, wow, this guy went 12-1. And then the next 2 years, he's 8-4-2. Is he really the guy? Again, questioning. But back then, they gave coaches time. John Madden got his players. And I'll tell you something. The players that John Madden got were the rejects of a lot of other teams. Outside of a couple for, what top 10, top 15 picks was John Madden getting with those kind of numbers and that kind of win rate his first 3 years? We always say you got to be in the top 10 to get the elite, the star. No, that's what happens when you see talent at the lower levels and you start hitting on the second, third. But back then also we had 13 draft picks. They had 16 draft picks.
Free agency.
Free agency was null and void. So this is a man who has to build a team that went 12-1 and then 8-4-2, 8-4-2. And he can't just go to another team and say, hey, what free agents do you want to get? You got to trade away capital to get these guys off the other teams. Because when you sign somebody in the draft, they were yours forever. And back then, they had plays, man, that goes to the post. You don't see names like that. The Immaculate Reception.
The Holy Roller.
Yeah, the Holy Roller. Oh, my God. We don't name plays like that anymore.
That play changed the NFL. You can't advance a fumble inside of 2 minutes because of that play. So
Right. I mean, this is the history that we go into when we all sit there and we talk about the old days and everything that we grew up in seeing. But John Madden got his guys after them 2 back-to-back seasons. He went 10-3. He lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers in the divisional round. Then he went 9-4, lost to Miami in the AFC Championship. 12-2, lost to Pittsburgh in the AFC Championship. By the way, that 73 team for the Dolphins went undefeated.
Mhm.
Then he went 11-3, lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers again, 4-time Super Bowl winners. Then he went 13-1 and he won Super Bowl 11. Then he went 11-3 and he lost to the Denver Broncos in the AFC Championship game. In his final year, he went 9-7 and then he retired. Imagine trying to build a team back then to what you want, what you foresee, which is why the first year was great, but the second and third year, you guys retire. The guys weren't getting millions of freaking dollars to play the game back then. I mean, they were lucky if they got what, Adam? Maybe $15,000, $20,000 a year?
right, and I mean you also couldn't leave and have a choice to leave. So if you were with the Raiders, the only way you could go to another team is to be cut and or traded. There was no, hey, March 13th comes around and we have a free agent frenzy for that. You basically had nothing going on in the offseason except for draft for them, right? So all they would do is prepare for whatever mini camps they had coming up for prospects going that year. And then, of course, you're not paying them the millions of dollars. Remember, TV revenue didn't kick in back in the day. I mean, if you watch the documentary, he's smoking a cigarette on the sideline. You'd never be able to do that today.
Right.
It's different era. And we got to appreciate it because that's what football was about. The Raiders were the bad boy Pistons of the NFL. They were the ones that had the reputations. They played dirty. They were dirty. And that was the start of John Madden because he didn't like Pittsburgh. They hated Pittsburgh. I mean, they hated all the teams they went up against, and that's what you wanted. You wanted a guy who could get the whole fan base fired up to hating, like Raider Nation was a thing when John Madden was there. That was what they were. That's who they personified. The flamboyantness of them wearing masks on the sidelines of clowns and stuff. They were great, man. I mean,
yes, exactly. I mean, and that's the thing. I mean, you did not have microphones on the sidelines because you get an offensive lineman calling the defensive lineman, you fucking dickhead, I'm going to kill your family. They were literally, they weren't exchanging jerseys after the game. Hey, brother, give me a hug. It was, no, fuck you. Wait till I see you next time, bitch. I'm going to take your goddamn head off.
Remember that time OBJ and Des Bryant was playing catch before the game? That was awesome.
No, it was not.
I was just a joke. That was not awesome. But it was a joke.
It does bring me to the Josh Norman fighting on the field. Sometimes I want to see that. Brandon Jacobs hated the Cowboys. He even says it. I hate the Cowboys, right? I don't need to exchange. This ain't soccer. Don't exchange jerseys with the man. Go throw some dirt in his eye. Say, I'll see you next time. You know what I mean? Like that Eagle game that we played, we should have been more fired up for it. We could eliminate them from the playoffs. Right? Even if you were one in whatever, you get up for those games. And so look at the Raiders. I mean, I'll let you guys talk.
But that's what John Madden was, man. When you guys say great coach, I'm not being mean when I say this, but to understand that day in football and what he actually did is probably one of the greatest accomplishments you'll ever see from a head coach. With everything that held him back, with nothing available to him, these guys are making not that much money, so it's not like you can get a guy from another team,
they were
by
literally
taking
bagging
over
groceries in the off season to make it.
Yeah, they had part-time jobs, man, in the off season. Very few guys could play football and Ken Stabler had money, but a lot of it was advertising. Joe Namath back in that day had a lot of money, but that was advertising money.
The Dutchman.
I mean, that's how these guys, you had to be really good and famous to not have to work. Even baseball players were working. I mean, God, you'd walk down to the supermarket and there'd be the left fielder bagging groceries for you because that's what he had to do. So when you guys see football now, we see all these top premier athletes and we see all of this hype and everything. Man, I mean, this was all paved by somebody that led the way. And when we say that somebody's better back then than today, it's just because It was a different time, a different sport, and everything was just so much different. You're not getting a bag back then. My God, you had to win. The Steelers players actually got more money from winning the Super Bowls 4 years in a row than they did for a year with their annual pay. You had to win to get a bag. It wasn't this bullshit 72 million. Yeah, I'll just sign a contract. They're handing out money. Shit. You had to win the Super Bowl so you didn't have to work that summer.
You know, it brings it back to almost like the NBA talk, because when in the NBA nowadays they want to play with their friends. But if you go back to the era of Jordan,
Oh my God,
they didn't want to play with their friends. They were saying, "Well, what can I do to beat you? Not let me join you and get a free ring."
Right.
So it's kind of the same thing with football, is that they had to find a way to earn. Those 49er teams, they earned their rings. You know, those Pittsburgh teams, they earned their rings. I mean, you don't think Swan's the Hall of Famer. You put his numbers up against a lot of guys in the Hall of Fame, and you're like, if you're just looking at the Hall of Fame numbers, like, man, how is this guy in the Hall of Fame? It's what that Pittsburgh team did and how, you know, Lynn Swann changed the game. I mean, he was so creative in catching the football and going up over people that was not seen in the 70s. Terry Bradshaw passing all over the place. The defense taking over. Right. These were not seen. That's why these guys are in the Hall of Fame. So when you measure the numbers, right, and people will say, well, Terry Bradshaw's in the Hall of Fame. Why are we fighting about Eli? Terry Bradshaw changed the game of what we know. He may only have 21,000, 22,000 yards, but winning 4 Super Bowls in the 70s is revolutionary.
Right.
I loved it.
And then Franco Harris and what's his name? What was the other 49 or Steelers running back? Rocky Blyer. They actually paved the way to the 2 running back set for football teams. Have 2 good running backs. And that's what the Dolphins did with Mercury Morris and Larry Zonka and Jim Lynch, whatever the hell his name was.
Well, if we're talking about positions, that's what LT did. For the Washington Redskins, Joe Gibbs came up with the H-back position to block him. Only him. Nobody else in the NFL at that time, just him. And now you have the fullback / H-back, which is like the tight end that lines up in the backfield. If you're not familiar with what the H-back stands for, that's what it was. It was created because the man was so good, they had no idea how to block him. And when you become that good and that transcendental, and we're talking about greatness here with Madden and the things that he did and revolutionized, this is when you were talking about greatness. So when we want to put players in there with like an LT or like a like Micah Parsons, they're saying LT, look at what he's did with the game right now. LT has changed it. You don't have a Micah Parsons without LT. You don't have an NFL without John Madden, because you needed to bring that Raider team, by the way, which was part of the AFL NFL merger. You know, that Raider team was the flash and dash over in the AFC in the AFL side. Okay, remember, it was the AFL and the NFL at one time, and then they merged. And that's why we have the AFC and NFC.
Exactly. That's like you'll never see a player. Sorry, Adam, but you'll never see a player like Ronnie Lott ever again. You'll never see a player like Steve Atwater ever again because of this.
Ooh, the softness of the game now. Because of the millions of dollars, because of all the corporateness, you won't see these guys again. Okay?
Right.
LT would be fined every hit he makes. Ronnie Lott would be barred from the NFL for life. Okay? Just because of how he hit. You know, Jack Youngblood, my God.
Oh, my God.
Oh, hell no.
Deacon Jones would have really got fined, bro. That dude.
I mean, he did that clothesline. You know what I mean?
Jack Youngblood play with a broken leg.
In a Super
Bowl. My point is that, you know, to get back to what we're talking about, and I guess we'll move it on. It looks like Zion wants to.
Right. I'm sorry, Zion.
You guys are good.
John Madden is what it is. I recommend everybody watch the documentary. Kind of learn a little bit about the game, learn about a little bit about the history of the video game John Madden. You know, because it's impacted everybody on this panel's lives. Whether it's Jay, whether it's Mac, whether it's Zion, we've all played Madden, and we all know who he is. So. If you want to check it out, it's a good hour and a half viewing. I recommend it. I
do too.
The other night, Zion.
Absolutely, and thank you guys. That was a great conversation, and I want you guys to know that the Big Blue Crew Collective, we have so much podcasts, so you guys are going to be able to get Giants talk on a lot of different podcasts. So on here on Premium Takes, obviously, Giant talks trumps everything. We'll pause the questions. We'll always take the time to talk about Giants. And obviously, good conversation, trumps everything. As you could see, Joel and Adam was having a really good conversation about the generations of football. That being said, I want you guys to know that we're not only going to keep it on sports. Sports is probably going to be what we focus on the most, but we might have some pop culture questions. We might have some entertainment questions, but we'll let you guys know in advance. Going forward, you guys are going to hate it because I'm taking a good conversation and I'm going to ask a really not so
No,
good
but I love
conversation.
the way this is
But
going. I
it
think
needs to be accurate.
I like how
It
Joe.
needs
I
to
like
happen.
this is a great way to go, Zion. I love this. Thank you for coming up with this.
I appreciate that. Thank you. You guys may not like this next question, but it needs to be asked.
I don't think
Come
we're
on,
gonna.
for real?
No.
A
Okay,
buck.
it's
Matt,
time. I'm ranting.
look at
Hey, yo,
everyone's face.
hey, yo.
Hold up. One at a time. Let Matt go first. Everybody got really excited. Everybody
Wait,
fired
hold
up.
on,
Matt
Zion.
said
Just real quick.
yes.
Y'all all got on me, but I said I think you should take yourself out the stream for this question.
Hey, after a performance like yesterday, it needs
let's
to
be
be
civilized.
asked.
I
It
really
needs to
want
be
to
asked.
rant.
Matt, let's start with you.
What?
Matt,
Are the Cowboys?
Oh,
I'm here. Are the
Matt,
Cowboys
right ahead.
real, or are they a bust? They're in the middle. They're somewhere in the middle, man. They're not a bust, but I'm not going to sit here and say they're real because they're dominating the amazing NFC East. You know what I mean? I'm not going to call a team for real for doing that.
Ooh.
I think their defense, they're very opportunistic on defense. Not necessarily super great. They can be had, but they're everything the Giants aren't on defense as far as taking advantage of every situation. When they get an opportunity to get cash in on a turnover, they make it happen. I mean, that's one thing I can say about the Cowboys defensively, man. And Micah Parsons looking like he's going to be defensive rookie of the year. I mean, kid is out there balling as well. Offensively, they've been on a little bit of a roller coaster ride, though, offensively, man. I mean, sure, Dak's the best quarterback in this division, but is he ready for the prime time for real, man? Is he ready for the big moment? He's not really making me all that confident that he is, man. I mean, honestly, if I could say, because it seems like every time he has a real, truly big game in front of him, he just doesn't kind of show up, man. So I gotta actually see. I gotta see him put it together, man. The Cowboys, they're somewhere in the middle. I'm not calling them real or a bust. They're just somewhere in the middle right now, man.
The them, right? Like the them, like and them too. You know, like for playoff talks, and then there's them. That's my point on it. But Adam, continue.
I think we're going to see the Dallas Cowboys on the golf course a week after.
Oh, real
us.
fast. I'm sorry. Were you done, Matt?
Yeah, I'm good, man.
You're hurting me, Zion. You're hurting me, Zion. You're making me
Alright,
boil.
continue.
You're
Go
making
ahead,
me
continue,
boil.
So like I was saying, I think we'll see the Dallas Cowboys on the golf course a week after us. Okay, so and what I mean by that is they're going to go to their playoff game, and whoever they play, that's going to be the end of it. And we're going to hear how good the Cowboys were when Cowboy fans really know that they weren't really that good. Cowboys know if they don't make the Super Bowl, their season is lost. Okay, because they're the Dallas freaking Cowboys. They're like the New York Yankees of the NFL. They need to win championships to be relevant. So if they go to the playoffs, which I'm calling here now, they will go and they will lose in round one, and they'll be on the golf course with the Giants, and it won't matter that they went to the playoffs.
Anybody else wants to take this question?
Yes, I am.
oh yeah,
Okay.
I do.
The Dallas Cowboys. Okay, let's get this straight. The Dallas
Makes
Cowboys.
sense now. You're gonna rant.
I
rant
am.
right.
I'm gonna give you guys.
Okay.
You're gonna rant, right?
This isn't gonna be a long rant. This is just gonna be a few sentences. So the Dallas Cowboys, no, they are not for real. They've only beat two teams above 500 this season. The Carolina Panthers, who we all knew were not that good in the first place, because their first three games they played the Jets, Texans, and some other team, and they went 3-0. And then the Chargers, they're a decent team. The Cowboys have struggled mildly against above 500 teams. So no, the Cowboys are not for real at all.
Miz, I see you've joined. You want to chime in?
My bad, bro. I totally forgot to pin the link, and then I was forgetting to drop the link. And then when I seen your last comment, I'm like, oh wait, he needs the link. But thank you so much for joining us.
All right, I got something here.
Wait,
Go ahead.
Can I go first, Joel?
I don't care.
Because I know when you answer is gonna be a long one. Like it's gonna be an hour.
Okay,
It's gonna be
go
an
ahead,
hour.
Jay.
It's gonna be an hour, bro.
I got a lot of wind in me still.
Come back, miss.
Hey, what I think, we all know Dallas ain't going nowhere in the playoffs. It's either they lose in the first or the second round. It's gonna be about like 30 years since they won the Super Bowl. It's not happening. I know Dallas always do good in the regular season, but who cares though? It's like Dallas has the best talent in this division, but they disappoint in the playoffs. And what's next?
Joel's
That's
2.5
my
hour
quarterback.
rant.
That's my quarterback. That's what's next.
Yo, Dak is overrated.
I
He's the
wanna
best.
take this
He's the
question.
best
Hey.
quarterback in garbage time.
Okay.
Damn.
If
You wanna
y'all
go,
said,
Joe?
Jaden, I don't want to interrupt you.
No, I'm done before y'all interrupt me. Not on my watch.
All right, let's look at the teams because I was going to do what Logan's did. Okay, week 1 was Tampa Bay, lost. They beat the Los Angeles Chargers by 3 points. They beat the Eagles by 20. They beat Carolina 36-28 by 9 points. They beat us by 24, and they lost to New England in overtime 35-29. So then they beat the Minnesota Vikings 20-16. They lost to Denver 30-16, and they beat Atlanta 43-3. That's their only really big blowout. Kansas City, they lost 19-9. They lost to the Vegas Raiders 36-33 in overtime. New Orleans, they only won 27-17. Washington, they lost 27-20. They only beat us 21-6. And then Washington this last week, they actually blew them out. You look at that record, you tell me what team on there is going to be a playoff contending team outside of Tampa Bay that the Dallas Cowboys can win. If they were playing better competition and they had this record, I'd say they're for real. But right now, they're doing what a good team is supposed to do, what the Dallas Cowboys have always done to a bad team. They beat up on them. But they're not blowing guys out like they should. My God, there's 4 or 5 games there they should have won by 25 points or more if they were, that freaking good. So there's a lot of weaknesses in it. I mean, the Raiders probably gave the key on that with that defense, with as bad as that defense has been lately, on how to beat Dallas. So I'm going to say right now, until they start beating really good teams, like, 8 teams that are, 4, 5, 6 games above 500, they're a bust right now. I mean, I'm a Giants fan. Yeah, our team sucks, but you know what? The track record says what it is. It's not your fault you're playing bad teams, but if you're going to dominate teams, you should have a lot more 40-plus point games, and the other team only scores 10.
They beat New England. By
Good,
the way.
Raphael. Don't even
They
worry
didn't
about it.
lose New England. They beat them.
Yeah, they did beat New England.
Listen.
I'll take this one after.
Look, it was Patriots vs. Refs. We all know it. It's clear.
All right.
Listen, it's almost like when it comes to a good team, Dallas pretty much has to grind it out for pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to bad teams, it just looks easy. But you're playing against a bad team, I don't know what y'all expect.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you can't Dallas got the most talent with the offense with Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup, Elliott Pollard, CeeDee Lamb, and Dak with a good offensive line. It's like you can't go wrong with that whole offense.
Right.
It's impossible. And you have somewhat of a defense. You got Diggs with 11 picks or 10 picks. You got Parsons, who's about to break the sack record soon. But let's not compare him to Lawrence Taylor. Let's not do that.
Right.
But, when it comes to the playoffs, Dallas always folds. I don't get the hype. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome back, Lou.
Hey,
man, I'll tell you what. I was just going to say real quick, Dallas never doesn't have anybody on their team that they could compare Micah Parsons to, so they have to look outside the organization for somebody like that. I mean, they haven't won a Super Bowl since '95, and they really haven't had a superstar player, so they have to find it. So, okay, you found it.
All right.
Absolutely.
This is where I sit with Dallas.
I'll let you go with fast Slade, but after Slade, let's have G Nation answer this question. And then we'll have one final question, and we'll probably wrap it up in about 15 minutes, guys. Thank you, everybody, for watching. And make sure Logan and the mods, Jay, if you guys can plug everyone's channels, make that links go. And Slay, continue.
Yeah. I agree with Joe.
It was a yeah. Little ugly
I agree
Hey,
100.
yo,
Eagles
Miz,
fan.
pulse on
Hey,
that.
Lou, pause. No.
I was talking about the
Oh
defense. What are you
I
hell
talking
no!
about?
Here we go.
I agree with Joe. I don't think Dallas is for real. They're a mid team right now. Like if you look at that team, their defense is mid. Their offense is good. But if you stand with the playoffs today, if the playoffs were to start today, they would face us in the first round. And then if they beat us, they would have to go to Green Bay. And you know what that means, right? Aaron Rodgers versus Dak Prescott. In the past, Aaron Rodgers has gotten the best of the Cowboys and Dak Prescott.
Yep.
So if you want to really look at Dak Prescott, tell me one time in his career where he's been clutch. His best times where he has to be clutch, he never shows up. Like look at
Oh, but when I said he was a backup quarterback, you was like, no, Prescott is
I
a
knew that was
beast.
coming.
all right.
I knew that was coming.
You look at when he played us a couple years ago. To get into the playoffs and to win the division, he didn't win the game.
So
And when
I have
he had to beat the Packers in his rookie season, when the stakes were high, he couldn't get the job done. So it's literally the same thing with Dak. He folds in big moments.
So you're a hypocrite.
So I don't think they're for real. Their Cowboys defense is okay. Dak is mid. He's barely a top 10 quarterback.
Stop saying mid.
So yeah, that's how I stand with them.
So you're a hypocrite.
DPS.
Let's get it. You want to attack this question, Lou? I think he's busy right now.
I don't even think
Eli-
Nathan.
maybe
I don't
Eli.
Louisiana, what's good? What? What's up, Rick? Stay off the shrooms.
For real or a bust, Lou? Dallas Cowboys.
Hey, yo, Miz, stop hyping up Dallas.
I mean, after what they did to the football team yesterday, most people
only made it on this. Yeah.
Who they going against that's competitive?
Listen, most people would assume with the whooping they put on the Washington football team yesterday that they're for real. But like I said, Dak Prescott is a glorified backup. And when they play the real dogs, the big dogs, they don't pull them games out. I don't think that they can beat a Tampa Bay. I don't think that they can beat the Buffalo Bills. I don't think that they can beat, none of the guys that are real contenders right now. I don't think Dallas has a chance beating them guys.
Hey, yo,
So
Miz,
I don't think. What's Miz doing?
Stop interrupting, man.
He's defending.
Let Lou go for real.
Sorry,
I interrupt
going,
all the
Lou.
time.
I don't need
I
you to copy
interrupt all
me.
the time, so I ain't mad. My point is, I don't think Dallas is gonna. If they do make it to the playoffs, they won't make it past. Well, they already clinched. They're the number 2 seed. They're not gonna make it past their first game.
They will.
Wait. Who they going up against?
They face us the first round, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna destroy us. So I'm not even
I kind of hope they do. To be honest with you.
All right. So our final question of the day, and like I said, guys, Giants talk wars, Trump everything.
Or hot dog sandwiches.
We'll probably get into some, maybe some entertainment, some pop culture, some music questions, all that fun stuff later on in later episodes. But the final question of today's stream is it's a personal question, so you can answer it.
Who came first, the chicken or the egg?
What is your favorite coaches of all time in any sport? Let's speak in Mac.
Well, I mean, not to sound like an absolute homer, but Bill Parcells is my guy, man. I mean, growing up, I became a Giants fan pretty much after becoming just a big fan of Lawrence Taylor, but at the same time,
the tuna.
But Bill Parcells, man, just the way he went about his business, man. He didn't accept failure. At the same, he was disciplinary, but at the same time, he knew what it took to make a winner, man. I mean, yeah, he didn't win when he went and coached for the Jets, but That's the Jets. And
Leave it
at the
here.
same time, he
Play
was
with it
still
tomorrow.
trying to make strides. He went and he did kind of turn the New England Patriot franchise
No, it's
around
bedtime.
and put them in the right direction. And then I know Bill Belichick is the guy everybody, puts up on the pedestal as the greatest coach of all time and all this, that, and the other. But Bill Parcells kind of started that trend in New England. New England was a bad franchise for most of my young life. I know it's way before
Ain't no
all of you
kinda.
guys.
He built that franchise. Go
But
ahead. My
he
bad.
turned that franchise back around in the 90s and got them headed in the right direction before Belichick took over. So and even when he went to Dallas, man, real quick, I know that seemed blasphemous that he went and coached the Dallas
Don't forget the
Cowboys.
Jets.
But he had them balling too. Like he went out and made that famous quote. If you want me, he need whatever. The hell I'm trying to think about the grocery thing. Whatever. I can't remember it exactly right now. But
If you want me to cook the dinner, at least let me shop for the groceries.
Yeah,
Right.
that. Thank you, Adam. That right there. I mean, Bill Parcells to me, he's just my guy. That's my favorite coach all time, any sport.
I love that. Adam?
Well, being that we already talked about Bill Parcells, I'll stick with the NFL. I have a couple in the NBA as well. Let me go with the NBA. I like Greg Popovich in the NBA. He was great. I admire him. His teams are always competitive. They always seem to find themselves in a championship at some point in his tenure. So I liked him. Phil Jackson is another one. But sticking with the NFL, I'll stay. My favorite coach, well, actually, it's Tom Coughlin for the Giants, but I love Bill Belichick, man. I love how he approaches the game, how he's changed it. He took a team in New England that Bill Parcells built and took it to new levels. Remember, Drew Bledsoe was the quarterback prior to Tom Brady, who was got number 11. Why? Because Bill Parcells probably thought he was going to be the next Phil Simms, but that's why he got number 11. And then as Bill Belichick has grown, you've seen the maturity. I mean, that guy, if you watch him, he was on every staff known to man. I mean, he was on the Raiders staff. He was on, the Browns staff. He was everywhere as just a gopher, as a runner to PA type thing, right? He would go get notes and cups of coffee and footballs and all that stuff. His dad was a great NFL mind. So I love listening to Coach Bill Belichick, and Tom Coughlin will always have a place in my heart because he won 2 Super Bowls with the franchise I fell in love with, and so Tom Coughlin would be my second one. I admired it. I loved his tough nose attitude coming in 2004 because that team was ran like Club Med under Jim Fossil. They didn't care. They didn't work as hard as they should have, and Coughlin was like, "Listen, you want to win? Follow what I do. Get in line, and I'll take you to the promised land." And he did it twice, which is one of the hardest things to do. So Tom Coughlin, you're forever indebted into my heart, and thank you.
I love it. Logan?
My personal hero, Ben McAdoo, all time.
Keep in mind, too, it doesn't only have to be you guys can come up with it doesn't have to only be NFL. You guys can do boxing coaches, UFC coaches of any sport, esports coaches. I don't know, of any sport. I love it. Let's get it classified.
Oh, Canelo's head coach. Coach.
Oh, me?
Yeah. Hey, Lucas, okay.
Oh, wow. Okay, I'm gonna have to turn on.
Tom Coughlin.
Yeah,
all right.
I love it.
My favorite coach. No, look, I've seen a lot of sports. I mean, I could go with there's been Archibald for the Celtics. I mean, what's his name? He was with the Lakers for a while with the slick back hair.
Bill Jackson.
No, Pat Riley. Even in college, you got Coach K still, Jim Boeheim at Syracuse. You got some of the greats. College football, there's been some really good coaches. Say what you want, but Jerry. God damn it, Jerry Johnson or Jimmy Johnson. Sorry, Jimmy Johnson's a great coach. I mean, he won at the collegiate level and the NFL level. But for me, my favorite coach has to be Jim Fossil.
Really?
We were a bad team. And he went onto the media. He made the statement on the podium in front of media. we're going to win. Mark my words right here and now. There's only one other guy that ever did that. His name was Joe Namath. This is a coach coming out for his team. He says, we're going to win. And as he walked off the stage, he looked back and said, I got goosebumps from saying that shit. He walked off the stage and he turned around and looked. He says, trust me, mark my words, we're going to win. Sure as shit. That team stepped up. Bang, we won.
He said verbatim, I'm calling it out right now. I'm putting all the chips in the middle of the table. This team will make the playoffs.
Yep. That man put everything on
get in now. You want to get in now because later on, yep.
Whoever wants out, get out.
That was my favorite coach. That's right.
I remember that shit.
He also has one of the most heartbreaking playoff losses in NFL
God
history.
almighty, let's not talk about that shit, please. Fuck my life.
49ers. Yeah, we'll move on from that one, but
let's get it, Jay. Favorite coach of all time.
But they also had the highest scoring NFC championship game of all time.
All right, Luke.
Logan.
No, it's fine. It's fine. He's just making a
point. Who just said that?
Me.
Logan.
You already had your point
me?
across. He's the champ said it. Zion said it's on me.
Yeah, watch your mouth, bro.
Yeah, you're just trying to get a point across real fast.
Crazy.
All right, champ.
Yeah,
it's fine. Continue, champ.
Watch it. Anyway, what I was saying, and my favorite coach is Tom Coughlin. All right. You know, because look, he had our players competing like every week and every year. For the NBA, I'll say Greg because he had like Tony Parker, Danny Green, Kawhi Leonard, Manu Ginobili, Tim Duncan, David Robinson. It's like he had these players like competing like in every game. It's like, and that's pretty much it, you know.
Short
Let's
and
get
sweet.
it.
I'm gonna go with a different route. Screw football right now. Let's go to baseball. I'm going to Joe Girardi. Yankees manager, won championships. I'm talking rings. That dude used to get in fights that I haven't seen in my lifetime, bro. That dude used to scream at his umpire, "You fucking bitch! Go,
Yeah, he did.
That dude used to get in fights, bro. And as someone who's a New Yorker who curses people out on a living, that's what I respect. So moving on.
I love it. Slay.
Me? Damn. I got a ton. I wish I could pick them all.
Damn, we're gonna say like Doug
I
Peterson.
could pick them all. We'll pick one.
Right now in boxing, definitely Eddie Reynoso. That's Canelo's coach. All time, the amount of damn.
You know about
Sean
Custom
Payton
Model.
right now in the NFL, 100%.
well, we're only asking for one.
And
Your
for
favorite.
all time, I would say Eddie Reynoso. Canelo.
Surprised you didn't say Doug Peterson.
I was gonna advise it.
All right, let's get it, G Nation.
What was the question? Favorite coach all time?
Yeah.
Any sport.
Jimmy Hart, WWF.
Oh my God.
Mouth of the South.
The mouth of the South, huh?
I love it.
That motherfucker had a megaphone and you still couldn't hear him. Yeah, come on, baby.
Oh my God.
His outfits was off the fucking chain. What was that comment? What did it say?
I
eat more rock garlic clothes than you are.
What the fuck?
I don't know.
Shout out to Rick. Logan, you want to give a more serious coach?
He said Tom
Ben
Coughlin.
McAdoo.
I said
Also, my coach
I love
wasn't
it.
serious, man.
No. He said Ben McAdoo the first time.
I'm
Not
just
at
messing
him.
with you. I'm just
No,
messing
it's
with
at
you.
him. Yeah.
No, I think I would go with, if I'm going to do that, then I'm going to go with Paul Bearer. Come on, man.
Oh yeah.
Jason Garrett, baby.
Come
Jason.
on,
You gotta go.
Undertaker.
All right,
Gotta go.
Bills right now in the NFL,
Yeah,
I would
kick
say
him.
Sean Payton.
Kick him
Gotta go
off.
Bobby the Brain.
Make sure you guys sub to everybody here.
Oh, he
Go
said
ahead.
Bobby the
Subscribe.
Brain Heenan.
To everybody here. Everybody has a minute. Say what you need to say. Starting with Mac.
The wizard.
just say what I need to say about
Plug your
anything.
channel.
Plug your channel. Yeah.
Oh, word. All right. Yeah, you can find me here on on YouTube, Facebook, on Instagram, Twitter, all Mac the Giants fan. So you gotta type in all one word to see the way it's spelled up there, Mac the Giants fan. You know what I mean? I do my thing every week. I drop a preview show before the game. I do after a live stream after every game for a little bit, reaction show. And I do a little NFC East podcast every Wednesday night. The Real Deal NFC East Roundup every Wednesday night at 8:30. So I'm gonna have Slay on there with me this week, as a matter of fact, breaking down on a few games. And so you can find me right there, man. Mac the Giants fan, MacDa Giants fan.
Hey, go sub that man up.
That's right.
And yes, real fast before you go, Adam, this podcast is going to be on 3 different channels. So it is going to be on Mac's channel next Monday night. So make sure you guys tune in for Mac's channel, because Premium Takes episode 2 will be on Mac's channel. The week after that, it'll be on Adam's, and then it'll be back here. But go right ahead, Adam.
Yeah,
All right.
My name's Adam. You can look up my show called The Hurry Up. Usually I have a Monday segment called Monday Rants, where I usually rant about what's going on in football. Well, of course, what's going on in football right now is my team is garbage, so you'll probably hear me rant mostly about the Giants, but there'll be other things coming down the pike. Premium Takes is one of the things I've jumped on, so you'll hear me here, and I look forward to working with the fellas on this on the stream to give you guys some fun stuff to talk about.
Now, y'all make sure y'all go watch the video. He's going to make shredding me on everything I said about Joe Judge. He's not going to mention my name. He's not going to mention my name, but he is going to go do it.
Yes, there'll be a video tomorrow of me shredding Lou. You'll see it. You'll know who it is. For the audience that doesn't know who it is, you'll enjoy it.
Yeah,
that's for tomorrow.
And that's all in fun, bro. We can argue, we can debate, we can have all these conversations about our difference of opinion on the Giants or football in general, but we all work together. We all talk to each other damn near every day. So ain't no love lost. You know what I'm saying? Everybody have a great night. Go sub Adam up too.
Thank you.
Let's get it. Joe?
Classified 3F with Joel. I give out classified information on a lot of different subjects. I talk anything that starts with an F. You can take it from there. I like to do a lot of live streaming. I don't drop a lot of videos. I would rather sit in a live stream and have people in the chat ask questions and answer them there, and have good discussions with these guys on the panel. Wednesday, the 29th at 9:15, I will be calling the Alamo Bowl on my channel. And then the 31st, I will be doing the Orange Bowl. I can't wait for that one. Georgia, Michigan, 2 great defenses going at it. I cannot wait for that one. That one will be at 7:30 on the 31st on my channel. Jay?
Let's get it.
I mean, look, shout out to everybody who's on the stream and everybody in the chat. Salute to everybody. Subscribe to everybody's content around here. Quick update. Well, the Saints just got demolished by the Dolphins, 20-3. But
okay.
Yeah, and subscribe to my channel, J Productions. Cause look, on Friday we gonna end the year off on my channel.
Nice.
5:30 on Friday.
Same of the year. Let's get it.
Y'all can tune in if y'all feel like it.
You got to say the time. You didn't say the time. What time on Friday?
He said
5:30.
5:30.
Oh, well, somebody else was talking.
I'm gonna already be drunk by 5:30 on Friday.
I won't be. I'll be on there.
Yeah, I'll come on and
I don't
enjoy
drink.
with you guys. Let's get it. I missed the first episode, but I'll come and support the second episode.
You're good.
Let's get it, Nate.
Nate Talks Sport. Road to 200. Please get me there before New Year's.
Sounds good.
Oh my God, his squad.
Oh, Jade, I thought you were shaking your head about my comment, but whatever. Moving on.
No. Loki, I was.
The first. Shut up. First, I'll be doing the first responder bowl tomorrow, so please be over there because that's gonna be fun. And then on Thursday, I'll be doing the Music City Bowl, Tennessee, the Volunteers versus the the Boilermakers, but please be over there. Let's
Let us know what time.
Oh,
What time do I have to be there?
You already know 3 o'clock.
Well, I do, but everyone else don't.
Let's subscribe to my channel. Damn it.
Well, you got to put stuff into community notes. Damn it!
I love it. Let's get it, G Nation.
Yo, let's go. Damn it.
Hold on, bro.
It's funny. That's it. Let's go, Logan.
Subscribe to my channel. Okay.
I am.
Subscribe to my channel, damn it.
Subscribe to my channel, damn it.
Subscribe to my channel. Oh my
That's right. That sounds like the old geezer that works in Walmart. Get your shit and get out. Okay.
Subscribe to my channel, LGZ Productions, where I rant about a bunch of shit and I talk about the Giants. And I will be calling the Liberty Bowl tomorrow at 6:35 p.m.
Yo, that shit was rich, son. That shit was rich. I'm sorry. Subscribe to my damn channel, damn it.
Subscribe to my damn channel.
Oh man, nah, thank you for having me, man. Great stream tonight, fellas. All these guys make great content, even when it sounds like we're at each other's throats. We just talk a little bit rough and a little bit raspy. We get heated because we're passionate about the game we love and the team we love. But go sub Logan, Nate, Jay, Joe, Adam, Mac, and Zion. And we're going to keep pumping out bangers for you on all the sports. Keep you updated on all things sports related. So make sure you keep in touch with the Big Blue Crew because we got a lot of things coming for y'all, man. Y'all have a great night and Happy New Year.
That's right.
He said we pump it.
That being said, guys, thank you so much for joining us. I'm gonna have a 30-minute session with Hit Squad tomorrow, so keep eye out for that. We are gonna do the Cheez It Bowl on on this channel.
No,
we're gonna keep eye on that. That's on Wednesday. Check the time. You know what I'm saying? I live in different area codes. 2:45 East Pacific. It'll be on my channel, and then we'll probably go do the Alabama, versus that Cincinnati game, that Cotton Bowl. I gave that game the hit because we all want to support everybody's channels here. So catch me and catch all of us on Hit Squad's channel on Friday. He's not here to plug himself, so I'm doing it for him. So make sure you guys come check us out there. And right after that, we're gonna go and ransack classifieds because he's gonna his game. Stay connected to the
I'm doing something on Friday.
KC. Yeah, you're doing your podcast on Friday. Absolutely. Yeah. That being said, that's before your podcast, so everyone's gonna support everybody. It's one big happy family here. Thank you so
don't
much
forget, we got the fight Wednesday, and we got the True Big Blue podcast as well. I mean, not the True Big Blue podcast, the Giants Cave.
To the face, the Giants Cave.
You got the podcast on Wednesdays too.
Absolutely, and you got a podcast on everybody's book schedule here on.
We got every day of the week covered.
Yeah,
that's right. We got every day of the week covered with the Big Blue Crew. We're going to keep giving you bangers. I'm telling you, Logan, shut up.
Oh, man.
Absolutely. Wow. And Discord, Instagram, Twitter, IG, TikTok, every social media on the planet.
Ain't no TikTok. Ain't no TikTok.
We ain't doing